My dudes, what's up? Bum 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 bum. Cool.
John pressed donk. No, I'm not.
Wait, no, I'm not what? When are you talking to David Packman? Next Wednesday at 6 p.m. Eastern. I should probably have this like on my calendar, huh? That's 7 p.m. my time? No. That's 5 p.m. my time.
And to the people that were a part of this protest saying, I don't know why I'm being called a Nazi or a white supremacist, I was just there for insert blank free speech thing. How can you be shocked? There was a right activist by the name of Baked Alaska that went to this event. Now, after Saturday, he ended up in the hospital. There's potential eye damage there. We're going to talk about that in a minute. But in the past day, I've seen him tweet things like, I'm not a neo-Nazi. In current year, if you're white and don't bathe in the tears of white guilt, you're a white supremacist, a neo-Nazi, domestic terrorist. He's taken offense to being called a white supremacist, a Nazi in the past, but I have to say, I'm not saying you are, but you can't be surprised when you live stream and you put out videos of, like this one from Friday night.
We're proud to be white. Hail victory. Hell yeah.
So you say hail victory. For those that do not realize, Sieg Heil means hail victory. It's saying Sieg Heil, but in English. And then in the same minute, this happened.
Lives matter. White lives matter. White lives matter. White lives matter. White lives matter.
So you and a bunch of the people around you who are definitely not white supremacists or neo-Nazis are shouting, white lives matter, and you yourself focus on the people throwing out the Nazi salute, who are also chanting the same thing as you. And you're not like, well, that's wrong. Also, it doesn't help your argument when you tweet out videos called The 14 Words, a song version of a quote from David Lane, a noted white supremacist. And those 14 words reading, "We must secure the existence of our people and a future for white children." Once again, I'm not saying Baked Alaska is a neo-Nazi or a white supremacist, but I don't understand how he can be confused as to why he's being bunched in. But let's move on. So all of that happened, and then we have Saturday morning. Saturday morning, before the protest was actually supposed to take place, what was scheduled? Protesters and counter-protesters met at Emancipation Park, and it got ugly fast. At first, it started with disrespectful chants. And very quickly, to the shock of very few, we saw fights breaking out. People were throwing rocks, bottles with concrete in them, glass bottles. You had people there with helmets, homemade shields, batons. After protesters were being pushed out of the park by police, we saw other fights breaking out in the streets. At one point, we saw this horrifying mobbing. A state of emergency was declared, and soon after, something horrible happened. Someone drove their car through protesters and then crashed into another car. And a big point I want to hit here is technically there was a car crash. One car hit another. But from all the angles where video is being recorded, this 100% looks like an attack. Just a warning before I start showing this video, this is graphic. From the first angle, we just see that there are 3 cars involved in a crash. After that video blew up, there were a lot of claims saying that people had surrounded that car and they just tried to take off, and that's why the crash happened.
That's what my mom says.
But from a second video, we see that Dodge Challenger uncontested speeding into that alley. Accelerating, it's gaining speed as it heads towards the crowd. The Challenger then sped away from the scene of the crime, but luckily the police were able to find them. The driver was arrested and has since been identified as 20-year-old James Fields. He's from Ohio and was found in pictures to be a part of Vanguard America.
Doxing.
Vanguard America is a white nationalist organization that believes in the motto of blood and soil, and that's a motto derived from the Nazi slogan, which is all about racial purity in a national territory. Part of their manifesto reads, "A multicultural nation is no nation at all. Our America is to be a nation exclusively for the white American peoples," and explain their points there so you understand what James was a part of. James Fields, a man who drove his car accelerated into a group of counter-protesters he did not agree with, injuring 19 of them, 5 of them critically, and killing 1, that being 32-year-old Heather Heyer. And as of right now, Fields is facing charges for second-degree murder, malicious wounding, and failure to stop in an accident that resulted in death. Also adding to the death count in Charlottesville, there was the death of 2 state police officers, Lieutenant H.J. Cullen and Trooper Pilot Burke Bates. Reportedly, these 2 died as they were trying to help with public safety when their helicopter crashed into a wooded area. But following this horrible car attack and all of the violence, there were many responses.
Okay. I think tonight is the night, guys, that we beat a couple more of these side quests. What are your thoughts on DeFranco? He seems fairly non-biased in his reporting. I mean, well, I don't know. I haven't seen anything from him that's like really bad. DeFranco seems like if you wanted to watch like a guy that like you're too lazy to read news or don't have time or whatever, I should say, it's a nicer way of saying that. DeFranco seems like a guy where you could like listen to him and probably get like a decent take on things without it being like overly biased or anything. Wait, where the fuck am I running to? Holy shit. Okay. Desert Housing Complex. Treasure chests. Oh, wait. Wait, why are you calling me names? These robots are part of the Jean-Paul quest chain. Try talking to him in the robot village. I might have already finished that quest chain. Oh, is this the guy? Wait, what? Is this the guy? From the quest? Oh my god, he fixed up a sexy lady robot. Oh. Even more insidious. Are we gonna have a conversation about this? Is this quest done now, or? What do we do now? Kill them? Wait, no way. It's basically done, something will pop up. Wait, what? Does this mean they died? Did the... Did the android kill the guy? Is that what we're supposed to assume? Or did somebody kill the guy and take the android, or? They were just attacked and killed by machines? Do I need to talk? Do I get? I don't know. Okay.
盗んでいなかった。じゃあ一体。司令部に通信。こちら 9S 応答せよ。
こちら 210 どうしました？
実は逃亡したヨルハ部隊についてなのですが。
はい、こちらでもその情報を確認しました。
しかし司令官から言われているような盗難事件はレジスタンスキャンプでは発生していませんでした。一体これって。
当該案件へのアクセスはできません。
え？
司令官命令によるものです。
どういうことですか？
9S 気をつけて。私からの情報は以上です。
あれ、オペレーターさん。どうして？
行こう 9S。
でも
私たちは戦うだけだ。
Wow. Okay, red hooded person. Wait, this person? Did we talk to us? No, she just has red hair. Oh wait, she's a Yorha duder? Oh, I didn't even know that. That one. It's time to fight.
「赤いフードの服はプレゼントされたものだったんだ。
プレゼントなんて無意味な行為。
どうしたんですか急に。
相手に聞かずに物を送るのは迷惑。
物というより送る気持ちが重要とか。
気持ちとか感情を持つことは禁止されている。
はいはい。
はいは1回。
はーい。
Fucking dumpstered. Is there like a chest like right on top of me that I'm too retarded to see, or what? Is it over here? Is it up more? No way. Oh, yes way. Meteorite? Oh, wow, cool. Can I talk to this dude yet? Why does he always have to rest? What is your problem? Okay, so we're going to the desert, I guess. Do the wandering couple quest? I don't even know where to start that one at. I thought we'd done it all before, but maybe we didn't do any of it. What do you think when they say they were out in the desert? What do you think that means? You did half the wandering couple quest in Route A, but it resets once you go to front. Yeah, I don't remember.
赤いフードを送った女性レジスタンスが砂漠にいるはずです。
そいつが犯人の可能性もあるから気をつけないと。
俺いないですね。
あ
Oh,
そ
wait,
こ
is
に
it
いる人に聞い
Jackass?
てみよう。
Hooray. Let Destiny know it's your 13-month anniversary. WEOW.
Whoa, thanks, dude. Can this guy combine chips? Oh, wow, he's not even gonna sell anything to me. Okay, you little cucker. You little cucker. What the fuck? These chests are so hard to see on the mini-map. Kiwi, can you chill? Okay, one here. And then there's one, what, like up there or some shit? Wow. For 100 gold? Oh, no, there's that fucking chest at least. For animal bait. What the fuck? I don't think I've ever been down here. Oh no, wait, yes I have. This is the... How? Oh, this is my third playthrough? Oh, no, wait. Is it because I ran into the shield thing? Okay. Aiden is coming, you doxed her again? How can you dox somebody twice in a row? It doesn't work that way. What? Wait, did I just take the lower path this time? Oh, this is a lower entrance. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. If I die here, I will kill myself in real life right now. Cruel blood oath. Wow. Whoops. Am I using the lance? I got the Type 40 lance, but I haven't equipped it yet. I haven't upgraded yet. When I go back to the camper, I'm gonna upgrade it. Where the fuck is Jackass? Do I need to go level up or something, or? Oh yeah, I guess I do. You have to go through the underground cave? Oh shit, yeah, that's what it looks like. So I have to go through this cave and like come out on top, or is she's way down in here somewhere? Oh no, am I not supposed to be in there? Oh. DSP is talking mad shit about Destiny. What, is he really? Wait, did she move? Did I cause her to move? Wait, don't we already know Jackass? Didn't she blow that door open and shit? Oh shit, she killed her own friend. The plot thickens. DSP is really mad at you. But I just want... Uh-oh.
Giant people on YouTube, they have giant followings. Let's make drama videos of slander against people. It's like, what the fuck? Why do you think YouTube lost all its advertising, you dumb fuck?
It had nothing
Because
to do
you're
with
an
that.
Idiot and you
What?
caused all these problems for everyone. Instead of making quality content, you became a
YouTube lost sponsors and shit because of endorsing like white nationalist fucking propaganda and shit that people started to freak out about. It had nothing to do with YouTube drama.
thing. If people keep acting like immature idiots and nothing's done about it, you're just gonna see it get worse and worse, man.
報告赤い頭髪は依頼人である女性型レジスタンスと特徴が
It's Macaulay did a 50-bit cheer. He's glad to hear the earlier pre-stream that I did blowing up the
友人を殺した犯人の
nonsense
フード
about me.
なんで彼女が
推
You know,
測
people will believe
女
what
性
they
型
want,
レ
but
ジ
the bottom
ス
line
タン
is
スがローカル犯人である
nonsense
か
that's been
ま
said
たは
about me
その
recently,
関係者である状
and they
態
don't give a shit. So there you go. The
とにか
supervillain
く
did another $3
話して
tip.
みよ
I find that a decent amount of gamers are fucking man-children who take very little responsibility for their actions or failures. I've monitored the bullshit with the haters, and what they do is straight pathetic. And Duke XJT did a 25-bit cheer. He said, "What LP did is why foreigners hate us." Yeah, because what happens is you see a fucking piece of shit like Logan Paul acting like a complete asshole, and now you see that video, right? Get 1 million views on YouTube or more, and now Japanese people see that and say, "Wow, Americans are assholes." Like, but no, not all Americans are like that. In fact, a lot of people I know are incredibly respectful of the Japanese culture. I know a few people who, like, it's their life's goal to maybe go visit Japan one day.
'Cause they're
and,
weebs.
You know, immerse themselves in that culture and be very nice to it. And now we all gotta look bad in the eyes of the Japanese because one fucking cocksucker had to make a fucking video like that, right? Unfucking believable. That's what I mean. But that's applauded on YouTube. That's what's pushed as positive on YouTube. They make those things featured videos. Idiots. Mr. Goodygood said, "Don't let anyone else get to me. I'm doing good." No, you're right. Listen,
you guys are
you're
coming
right.
out for
I
the
am
streams.
happy. I am, you know.
You guys are
I'm not-
donating the bits. I love you guys. Thank you guys for coming out for the stream tonight, by the way. All right. I think near factory is where we... Upgrade the lance? Oh yeah, sure. Hey, do you think this guy wants to talk yet? Stop, go away. Fuck you. Oh, this person's in.
Japan is a racist piece of shit country.
Whoa!
Bonus meme. One Logan Paul wasn't enough. Send Jake too.
That was horrible. Bad meme. Hey, murderer! She's gonna kill herself after. Wait, we could have just hacked the pod for more information the whole time? Why didn't we do this before going on a fucking wild goose chase for the fucking owner of the hood?
記録回路調査 88%、 92%、 98%。
Possible. Okay, I'm not gonna push. Oh, okay, we almost skipped the button. Oh, do you think that's the lady? Wire. Should we kill her? What happens if I shoot at her?
Yoruha Iigata. そんなモデルがあったんですね。
Yeah, you're not
トゥビ
supposed
は
to
知っ
know.
ていましたか？
Yep, but I didn't tell you.
知らなくていいことだって
Oh, never mind.
ある。
そうかもしれませんね。
Wow, thanks for the 1,000 bits, man! How do I get this motherfucker to type to me or talk to me? Rest on the bed, you think? Wait, so can I run through here? Yeah, boy. Okay, never mind. We'll just do main quest. I think we're done with side quests for now. There's probably some on the map that I could find, but we'll pick them up on the way. Oh, upgrade lance. Okay. Oh, I can't even upgrade this level 1. I need a pearl. There's an important side quest to do first. It's not like the next quest cuts me off from side quest yet, does it? Nope. This fucking thread. Is it a good thread? Did Nick like a good meme? Is this worth clicking on? Wait, we're going back down here? It's shit. Oh, that Nigvids guy spams chat a lot. It's usually shit. Wait, what? Where am I supposed to go? Are we supposed to go to the bunker? Destiny has no idea how much he ruins people's egos like that. Look at Nick Vid's chat log. Logs him and read his logs. The guy sits retarded shit in chat like constantly. Like, I don't know if he's a troll or not.
以上がエイリアンシップの報告です。
そうか。すでにエイリアンはこの情報は人類会議で最高機密としてはくれぐれも他言。はい。君たち二人にはパスカル月面の人類特殊な個体の調査は今後の
了解しました。
了解しました。了解しました。See ya, bitch! Oh, fuck.
司令官も本当に人使いが荒いですよね。しかも行き先はまた廃墟都市ですか。久しぶりだしちょっと休んでいきません ?2B
気が向いたらね。
Ho ho! Dumpstered! The upload of that JF clip about pedophilia seems to imply that it was a dirty tactic that took JF out of context. I don't see how it could be, but the upload... Oh, I don't give a fuck. I mean, it's not like JF himself advocates for pedophilia. I just thought it was funny because I knew that if I posted that clip, there'd be a bunch of people going like, oh, well, no, JF doesn't technically talk about he's actually just giving the evolutionary biological argument for it. Like, it's not... So it's just funny because, like, when they're talking about me, apparently I literally love pedophilia and incest, but when it's JF, they're going to make all the nuanced arguments for it. You know, it's pretty funny. Wait, I have to do this study shit again? Is this seriously a main quest? Or did I really not finish this before?
でも仕事って大変ですよね。
作戦に好き嫌いはない。9S。あなたは感情を出しすぎ。私たちヨルハ部隊は感情を出すことは禁止されてるはず。
そうは言っても個体差があるから仕方ない気がします。あのアダムとイブって特殊個体もまるで感情があるような。
いいから転送装置の場所に行く。
はーい。
はーい。Can I really not just jump? Just kill me. How come he keeps saying that two psychiatrists didn't evaluate her? Well, he's clutching onto the fact that one of them was a psychologist or a therapist or whatever, and not a technical, like, medical doctor, but he won't reference the other psychiatrist. I don't know. He's just grasping at straws. Wait, what the fuck are we doing right now? Quests. Go to the abandoned factory. Wait, have we not done this either? I'm so confused about which quests we've done or haven't done. Was the pedophilia meme the big meme you were talking about? No, the big meme I was talking about was I was thinking about he has 3 videos up on his channel that I don't know if I gave him permission or not to use them, but I thought about DMCAing them to shut his channel down. This is a new side quest. You never turned the hack quest in. It's a 9S quest. You couldn't have done it? Oh, okay. I think there's a closer, but I ultimately decided not to do it, so. Wait, where are we? We're over here. Okay, factory entrance. That's what we're looking for. Do you ever regret not busting a nut in Dingledurper? No, because by the times that I was like friends with her was when she was 16. Fuck that shit, dude. We already been through these memes. That shit ain't worth fucking anything. Hell no. Factory entrance. This is what we're looking for. Isn't it legal in some parts of the US? Yeah, but I never really saw her as like a romantic thing or whatever. I don't know. I don't know. We never talked like that, I guess. I don't know. It's kind of weird. Can I take this shortcut? Is this still accessible to me or no? No, it's not.
この工場、機械生命体の巣みたいになってるな。以前はどんな場所だったんだろう。
参照結果、人類文明が健在だった頃の兵器生産工場、兵器生産と実験を行っていた。
へえ、どんな武器を作っていたの？
主に人型兵器を製造。代表モデル名は P22、P33。
人型の兵器か。飛行ユニットみたいな感じかな。
当該兵器の写真資料は
あそこからデータにアクセスできるみたいだな。
Wait, what the fuck is this thing? Data and oh, this is what I was looking for. オペレーターさんの言ってたデータは入手できたな。あとはこのデータを送信すればいいな。
報告。本場所は電波強度が不十分。推奨。通信環境の良い場所への移動を。
了解。
了解。Is that DSP clip really spicy or is it fucking retarded? Cure all plus heal all. That sounds like it would be something really dank if I wasn't playing on a difficult mode. It's retarded, it's spicy. Oh, I don't have my triangle down slash. Is it even worth like looting any of this shit? I don't think I care. And there's no like terminals out here, so. Oh, 2B! Wait, am I... Tibby, what are you doing up here? You're supposed to be helping me. Stop. Okay, link me the fucking bullshit. Link me the DSP, maybe we'll watch it. It's crap. It's not worth it. It's so shit.
The even worse part is that people are telling me now in the stream chat that Destiny has a kid. So now not only is he a fucking immature asshole, but now his kid's gonna be like that too. Because his kid's gonna say, oh, daddy does it, so that's funny, right? That's what I should do. Just like Logan Paul. Well, how many kids watch him? Oh, that's funny to do. I want to go to someone's country and hold a fucking octopus tentacle and a dead fish and run through the street slapping vehicles with them and disrespecting people and acting like an asshole publicly. That's cool to do because I saw it on YouTube and this guy's got 1 million fucking followers, you know. So that's cool, you know. Oh, my daddy goes on other people's streams and completely fucking disrespectfully derails them with stupid drama topics. Oh, that's nice to do, right? At this point, you know, when you have a following anywhere, YouTube, Twitch, you have to realize, okay, that you have a responsibility to be a responsible person because people will be hurt by your actions, whether it's people who watch you, whether it's other people who do what you do, whether it's people whose Jeeps get completely flipped on their side and then you can't run anymore. Holy shit. It's kind of interesting how it slid in there.
Okay. What is that, DSP's first porno? It's kind of... No, I'm just kidding. I'm sorry. Did somebody message me somewhere? On League or something? Yokai!
オペレーター210より 9S へ応答願います。
はい。
もしもし。
こちら 9S。
データの受領を確認しました。現在解析していますが、これは興味深いですね。このデータは過去に工場で働いていた人類の日記のようです。
日記？
その日記によると、毎日長時間工場で労働していたのですが、まるで機械のように働いていると記載されています。機械のようになりながら工場で機械を作る。人類は不思議ですね。
なるほど。
後ほどメールで特別報酬を送信します。
報酬？報酬がもらえるんですか？
報酬を渡さないとは一言も言っていません。
それはそうですけど。てか通信切れてるし。
Large recover? You
報告。アクセスポイントからメール受信の連絡。
My face when I can't go up here. Oh, I can. Thank God. Thank the Lord Jesus Christ it let me up there. Does the hacking minigame at very hard also one-hit kill? Yep! Some good-ass shit. Okay, where the fuck? Don't I need to go to, like, Pascal's village or some shit? Whoa! Is Jean Paul here? Wow. Do you think I have to go down to the base to get those quests? Probably. Okay, we already did half of this quest before, I think. Where is, Now you just need to save 50 kg for the flooded area? What? I've got probably way more than that. Do you think DSP's afraid of me for that? No, DSP's just DSP's just really special. Don't bully him, okay? DSP's a very special individual. Wait, why did we come all the way down here to talk? Was that a bug? Oh. These hack games are so easy. I don't understand why they didn't make these like more like a puzzle. Oh, that was pretty easy. Okay, there is an exit that we need to find. Well, I guess I could start this first and then
いくつはい私に回答でき はい、なんでしょう。
パスカル、
はい、
この村以外に
この先日お二人に倒していただいた
歌姫。
森の国。
そこに聞くとても排他的なグループ。
場所は
廃墟都市大きなショーカーのあたりは最近グス。
森の国。
Each machine isn't equal, which means the traditional capitalistic acquisition systems of the past don't work for us. Instead, our economy is focused on trading materials, barter system, socialism, no currency. I bet there's no government either. The stateless communist barter monsters. It was a lesson we learned from mankind's past history. Oh god, I needed to stop shooting at everything. Fuck. Oh god, I fucked it all up! Okay. Don't just shoot at everything. Oh my god, I saw the group of 3 and I didn't see the one. Fuck. Alright, we're gonna get it. Okay. 1. 2. 3, 4, 'No! That was a nice multi-layer beam there.
賢いって一体なんだろうな。
回答不能。質問 の定義が曖昧なため。
だろうね。
What? Again? Would you agree that equality of opportunity is unachievable in an economy that supports the existence of a social class, i.e. capitalism? Opportunity. We have to talk about what each of those words mean in order to truly understand that. Like, yeah, I don't know. That's a long meme. We'd have to talk about that for a while. Like, I could see there being a yes answer to that question. And I could see there being a no answer to that question, depending on how you define equality of opportunity. Like, for instance, on one end, I would say that in a capitalist system, there probably can't be equality of opportunity, because not everybody will have the same opportunities being born to, like, a wealthy man versus a poor man. However, I don't know if that kind of opportunity is important. I don't know if we want to guarantee that everyone has the opportunity to become a billionaire in society. I don't think that's the kind of opportunity we should shoot for, so I don't know. I don't know how much to give you. It gives you 5,000 gold? What the fuck? Is Justin gonna play a piano behind him? Yeah, all the time, dude. Okay, there is a quest here. I need to get, is this what, the entrance to the forest? No, this is back to the city ruins. I don't know how to get over there.
I love you, Destiny Desti Senpai. Also, check out the spicy DSP clip that started Tone's memes.
We already looked at this. I know somebody probably donated and said, oh, here we go. Nando.
So.
Nani? Is this the same mother boy, or is this a different mother boy?
2B。
Doobie.
いつになったらナインズって呼んでくれるんですか？
Why does he push it so cringy?
で十分伝わる。
まあ、そうなんですけど。
This guy's a fucking cringe machine. God damn. Wait, where the fuck? Whoa, where the fuck did this robot even run off to? Am I supposed to... Maybe it'll appear after this conversation? He got all the way to the desert in like 2 seconds? What? It's the diamond in the middle of the city. Near Servo. I think we do City Ruin Center for Servo. Or we can do the edge of the desert, actually. I think it's the desert camp. Father Servo dead? He calls what? Why are you trying so hard to stir up drama? I don't give a fuck about DSP. Like, I just watch a stream to laugh at him sometimes. I'm not like invested enough to like care about this drama so heavily, my dude.
Hey guys, Psycho Gay Keto is a very cute grill. Give her a wowee please.
It's hilarious. Watch the clip. Okay.
The Twitch streamer Destiny. Dora says, what do I think of the Twitch streamer Destiny? He's tried to bait me a few times with drama shit, and that's all he does. Surprised he's not banned yet. Well, I know nothing about Destiny except the fact that he tried to start drama with me a couple times, and I won't have it. Like I said, oh my god. Like I said, I'm 35 years old. I don't have time for little kitty shit. You know? That's all it is. He wants to start shit and start little kitty arguments and be a little bitch about it. And try to fucking have people raid people's streams and talk about unrelated shit. Yes, I'm in the middle of playing a game. I definitely want people to fucking raid my stream and start talking about tax advice. How about this? How about you suck my fucking dick and you get the fuck off my stream, right? It's one thing if you want to raid someone's stream and you want to do something productive, like, oh, I have a following and I'm going offline. I heard that, you know, DSP or another streamer is doing something fun. Let's have all my viewers go over there and we'll do like a fun raid. A good example of that was Cryotic. Cryotic actually did that to my stream once, and it was very nice of him. He was very respectful. He had his viewers come over.
Okay. Just wanted to talk about taxes, man. I love taxes. But if you want to spend thousands of dollars for a tax attorney when you're filing taxes as a sole proprietor, I mean, knock yourself out, my dude. Fuck these hacks. Fuck that robot. Nah, fuck you. I'll kill you, motherfucker. I will die here doing it, too. I don't care. I don't give a fuck. We don't let this guy. We have to make him earn his... Fuck that shit. Give me that part, homie. Yeah, give me that level up. Ooh, the stripped screw. The best type of screw.
トゥビー、気をつけて。近くに敵の反応があります。
あそこ。
Fuck, I thought I was gonna kill the dude.
怖かった？
早く戻ろう。
そんなだ、トゥビーどうしよう。
私にも。
Snot-nosed machine, whoa.
言ってるそばから来ましたよ、トゥビー。
分かってる。
Is this a really early quest? Or this is like an early one I was supposed to take?
Oh 気は済んだ。お母さん、一緒に帰ろう。
Oh no. Wait, can I not hack him?
僕たちから離れちゃダメだよ。ちゃんとついてきて。してたよ。だから戻ってちゃんと謝ろうね。
What? Can you stop? Oh, these guys are level 40. No! Wait, no! Does he always die, or? Wait, you can save him? Wait, should I not have restarted? I saved after all the Pascal stuff, right? Please. Yeah, okay, never mind, accepting.
2B、気をつけて。近くに敵の反応があります。
あそこ。
怖かった。
早く。
そんなだ 2B。
私。
言ってるそばから来ましたよ 2B。
分かってる。
私。
お母さんはいつもお兄ちゃんばっかり褒められた。お皿終わったのは僕の手なのに。僕のせいにされたら先に叩いてきたのお兄ちゃんなのに。僕が悪いって。いつも僕らに我慢しろって。お母さんは僕が嫌いなんだ。お母さんなんか嫌いだ。
気はお母一緒。
Oh, we're supposed to go this way.
僕たちから離れちゃダメだよ。ちゃんとついてきて。
お母さん、本当に僕のこと心配してた。
してたよ。だから戻ってちゃんと謝ろうね。
Do they spawn down here? Was it this group of dudes?
俺、あの小さな機械生命体が見当たりませんね。
どこかではぐれたのか。
最初の場所に戻っているかもしれません。探してみましょう。
Do you think he starts back at full HP? Oh, he does.
怖かった？一緒に帰ろう。
Secret hacks found. New speedrun strats, boys. Oh, these guys do spawn. No, I didn't want to hack him. Whoa. Why is my hack locked onto him? Okay, that's sick. Thanks. Yeah, just can I restart? Is there a way to switch targets like that, or is it just... What the fuck? Where's Kyle at? Can we do Factorio? You can just run there? But I can't. I ran past there. Why do people keep saying that? I ran past there and nothing dropped. It's pretty obvious that it's a quest-related spawn. I think he's saying run ahead of the road to clear it after you meet him? I mean, it didn't seem like that.
トゥビー、気をつけて。近くに敵の反応があり。
あそこ。
How did that even hit me? Okay. That's alright. Now we can get a support droid, I guess, to help us with this quest. Or tried using the lance yet? No, but I don't have the materials to upgrade it also. Oh, you're saying there's no point to teleport. Oh yeah, you could be correct about that. Oh yeah, because we're just going right here. Sure.
To be, 気をつけて。
あそこ。
Wait, my level up disappeared? I don't understand how this game's like continue system works. It seems really weird. Or it's not very intuitive at all. Like, if I come back here and recover my body, I feel like I should have, like, all the experience and shit from killing that one dude, but apparently...
怖かった。
早く。
そん 2B
私、
言ってるそばから来ましたよ 2B。
分かってる。
お母さんはいつもお兄ちゃんばっかり褒められた。おさらばだ。僕のせいにされた。好きに叩いてきたのお兄ちゃんなのに。僕が悪いって。いつも僕だけ我慢しろって。お母さんは僕が嫌いなんだ。お母さんなんか嫌いだ。
Can't wait to see Jay about lawyer you in court.
Yeah. You lose EXP when you retrieve the body instead of repair? Oh, you mean when you repair instead of retrieve? Oh, because you're getting your prior XP? Oh, that might be it. Because you reloaded the same instead of respawning? No, here I just respawn.
来ます。おか一緒。僕たちから離れちゃダメだよ。ちゃんとついてきて。してたよ。だから戻ってちゃんと謝ろうね。
Closing parenthesis.
Nice. 6 months. Thanks, Tin Hatch. And 4 months for you, Saladin. Thanks, buddy. Go! What's wrong? This quest sucks anyway, it's okay to skip? I can't skip the quest, I'm saving this guy's life. You sick fuck. It's just a baby machine. That all missed. Just die, just let me die, I'm ready. I accept my death. Jesus fuck, this is fucking annoying. I need to switch my program to a different thing. To the machine
Your
gun.
Destiny, this game seems pretty interesting and kawaii, and I appreciate you
You
playing.
cannot clear out the level 40s.
This game,
Please
even though
stop
you're getting
typing
a lot
shit if
less
you've never played the
viewers than
fucking
League
game
with
before.
MR Muton
Holy
Huey.
shit. Or we can wager $100 on it if you want.
Sippy.
To be.
あそこ。
Oh, I forgot the first guys here when I was reading chat. Oh, that's okay. We got our little helper, right? I don't know how to hack these guys because every time I try to hack, I'm close to that one little robot dude, so it like auto defaults to him and then it just knocks me away. I tried hacking the first time. I would have to like run behind them or up to them and then like spam hack or something, and then I'd have, I don't know. I'll just put on the shooting gun thing and we'll hope that that's good enough.
To be.
あそこ。
Oh, I got 0 EXP. What the fuck was the point of that?
早く
その 2B
私
言ってるそばから来ましたよ 2B
分かってる。
お母さんはいつもお兄ちゃんばっかり褒められた。
Bulio.
僕のせいにされた。好きに叩いてきたのお兄ちゃんなのに。
Like, I'm even right now, I think my character is locked onto him for like attacks.
お母さんは僕が嫌いなんだ。お母さんなんか嫌いだ。
気は済んだおか一緒
Alright.
僕たちから離れちゃダメだよちゃんとついてきてしてたよだから戻ってちゃんと謝ろうね
I'm gonna dash forward and try to kill the dudes in the back first. Is this it, or is there gonna be more spawning? You have to fight off one more wave? Are you serious? This would be so much easier if I could target my hacks. And I just wasted my shit, so now I can't store up a slash. Fuck me, dude. Alright, we're done with this shit for now. I'll see if I've got one effector, otherwise I'm going to bed. It's too frustrating. The inability to hack because of that little robot dude is really fucking annoying. Hmm. How long does this guy take to respond to his fucking mail in game if I want this scholar title? Thanks. All right, Mitter Kyle is coming. Okay, we're waiting for Kyle now. Hold on one sec. Wait, hello? Oh. Oh, fuck, I was muted. Hey, my dude.
Hey, you were muted.
I was muted, Kyle. You got a fucking problem with that?
No, you can
Good.
mute yourself as much and as long as you like. It's your server, in fact. Go ahead and ban anyone who thinks otherwise. Agent intervention for League. I thought I needed an intervention for Lords Mobile.
Whoa, Kyle. Chill. Chill. Okay? Chill on that.
On Lords Mobile or League?
On Lords. It's very
On
important.
Lords?
Okay.
Holy shit, I need to stream.
Yeah, you do, Kyle. Fucking idiot. Mute that fucking stream.
Yeah.
You goddamn fool, Kyle.
What the hell were we even doing in this game?
Winning, Kyle.
Is it time for trains? Is that what's going on here?
We're way past when we probably should have had trains, Kyle.
We need, because we need way more resources, don't we?
Yeah.
So how was your day? Did you piss anybody off today? Any new drama I need to be aware of? Catch myself up on?
No, everything has been normal memes.
That's good. Oh, we need more steel production.
Yeah, I'm about to do that next. That's right what I was getting ready to work on.
Gotcha. I wasn't sure if it was an iron thing or a steel thing.
Where the fuck is this coal going? Is this... Oh, over to your shit. Oh, and up here. Oh, no, wait. No, just to our belt. Fucking Kyle.
It's a red belt, so you know what that means.
What?
It means you did it, because I haven't used red belt at all, so I don't want to hear about your shit.
Good.
You can complain to yourself. How is it that they spread out everything? They spread out all the ore, and there's still ore patches that fucking overlap. That really fucking bothers me.
Does it, Kyle?
Yes. How do we not have the science to fucking make ore patches that don't overlap? I'm gonna make a radar. That's what I'm gonna do. Oh, we need walls eventually. is there like no stone?
Stone? What do you mean? Oh, on the map you mean? Yeah, we've got some
Yeah,
blocks.
we have that one patch. I guess there's a patch to the north. Oh, actually, I need to go fucking kill those aliens.
Yeah, maybe you should do that, Kyle. You
I am gonna do that.
Fucking idiot. Got him, guys.
Is this what it feels like to get got?
That's what it feels like to get got, Kyle.
Feels bad, man.
Yeah, well, that's what happens when you get got.
Did I just lose this debate?
You just got
Is this
annihilated, Kyle. You're a race realist now.
Is this what like no bullshit and baked Alaska must feel like? You know?
Maybe, Kyle. Maybe it is.
The intellectual titans of our time.
I don't appreciate your tone when you speak that way about the intellectual heavyweights. I feel like you don't have enough respect, Kyle.
I will try to respect
Thanks
them
for
more.
the sub, buddy.
You know?
Nathan
Yeah, that's
Weeb.
all I can do is try.
Thanks for the sub, buddy. Nathan Weeb.
Ever since you followed me on Twitter, I like get like 2 or 3 followers every once in a while.
Oh.
Like forethought, I saw that you followed me. That's like I'm not used to seeing things in the notifications bar, especially because I don't actually tweet. I just follow people. Weird feeling, man. Get them late. Good job, laser turrets. Dude, I literally don't tweet. None of you guys need to follow me. I tweeted good luck to Steven when he said that he was going to... What was that? Oh yeah, the Twitter made their characters to 280, and you said that you were going to be more... What?
We're going to stop bullying people.
We were going to stop bullying people
But
now that we
instead
have
it gave us
extra.
the ability to bully people in ways we'd never imagined, Kyle.
Exactly.
Great success.
Exactly. And I knew that was the exact thing that was going to happen. No. For one brief moment in history, there was hope for
a brighter tomorrow, Kyle.
Yeah. But we Neo Star 15.
It's too powerful.
He lives on Twitter now,
Yeah.
He used to live on AOL Instant Messenger. I don't even know what the Logan Paul trauma is. I just hear random shit and have not looked into it.
He basically found himself going through a suicide forest in the suicide forest place in Japan, and apparently there was a dead dude hanging there. He looked at him and made fun of him and shit, or kind of like laughed and stuff. People are pretty mad.
Well, suicide is a big problem in Japan, isn't it?
It might be. I'm not sure. I'd have to look into the numbers. I don't remember.
I want to say it is, but I could be talking out my ass a little bit,
What are your Factorio settings? We just ran it all stock, all on normal. Alright, Kyle, lecture 7 today? Or did we do 7 yesterday? We do 8 today?
I don't remember.
Motion stuff going on.
Sure.
Brownie in motion. Oh no, wait, yeah, we did 7 this time, so we're doing 8 this time. Okay, what is a YouTube sync act? Give me one. Give me the YouTube sync thing, guys.
Oh, this is a good idea.
Yeah.
Great job.
Wait, what? Search keywords, video URL, room ID. Oh, sorry. I thought you were supposed to name your random room. Okay, I'm sending you a meme.
Someone was probably really bothered by all the counting down.
Does this work for you? You have the link?
Yeah, I can't do anything. So
Okay, I went forward in time. Does that work for you?
Yep, I think we're good. I saw it jump to... Actually, I can't tell how far it jumped, but a little bit. Oh, 722. Look in the chat. There it is.
Okay, so it automatically goes around for you when I pause, or when I rewinding and shit?
241, 118. Now it's paused at 118. Yeah, I think so.
Okay, sick. All right. Hold on 1 second. Holy shit. Sorry, hold on 1 sec.
You're good.
Good, I know I'm good, Kyle. Okay. All right. It's starting now for you?
Yep. We're good.
Can I
We can
turn
always-
your volume up or down, or do you have control of your own volume?
I think I have control of my own volume.
Push off
God damn
into
it.
new terrain here, yet another bucket.
They thought of
But
everything.
before doing that, various bits of feedback from office hours, from hearing from TAs, getting a sense of where the grand gaping craters of confusion are so far. And apparently an awful lot of them were provided in the last 2 days' lectures with behavior genetics. Various issues that came up, clearly one of the most complicated, inaccessible, subtle pain-in-the-neck concepts in the whole class, which is this heritability business. So memorize the following 2 sentences, because it all comes down to the difference between something that is inherited and how heritable a trait is. The fact that humans overwhelmingly have 5 fingers reflects the fact that the number of fingers is an inherited trait. The fact that when there are some circumstances of humans having other than 5 fingers, it is overwhelmingly due to environmental something or others, is an indication of the fact that nonetheless variability around the number of 5 fingers, heritability is essentially 0%. So get those 2 sorted out and you have those 2 concepts all under your belt and very useful. Why is it useful? First off, why is this one useful? Because it is important to know the distinction. Everybody, for one thing, out there tends to view these as telling the same thing, and insofar as they think it says the same thing, they think that both terms are referring to this. Something that is genetically regulated, genetically determined, whatever, 2 totally different terms. So one reason to obsess over this is that when the newspapers give us our soundbite of scientists report that, it's usually this one that they're reporting with one of those marvelously misleading numbers, which then sets people up for thinking they've just been told how much do genes determine some average feature of this trait. So important to tell them apart. The other reason of getting this sorted out is not only to unlearn the nonsense aspects of misinterpreting this term, but because understanding that term gives you a lot of insights into when and how you are getting gene-environment interactions. Caveat with that, saying when and how you're getting you're always getting gene-environment interactions. Remember the quote from the other day, it's like saying which contributes more to the volume of a square, or the height, or the length, or the roundiness, or whatever. Yes, it's always gene-environment interactions, saying in what ways are there some of the more interesting ones, dramatic ones, in what realms. Understand this, and you avoid this confusion. Understand this, and it gives you insights into gene-environment interactions. Okay, other issues that are coming up. By now, we've looked at 3 different broad approaches to the biology of social behavior: the evolutionary stuff, broadly stated, the molecular, the behavior genetics. And what should be clear by now is if you are living inside one of those buckets, you hate the other 2 and trash them entirely. So we get to the first of our great conflicting points, which is, does that mean one of these is wrong? No, one of them is not wrong. None of them are wrong. Some are more right than others, and some are a lot better than others, but nonetheless, these are all, again, from the very first lecture, different levels of description. Another way to begin to think about this in terms of what we've now been focusing on, and this sort of coming up from some questions afterward. So by now, we've had the term epigenetics. That's come in the last couple of lectures, and there are at least 3 different levels, 3 different buckets with which you can define the term. What is epigenetics? Epigenetics is the way that culture, environment, all of that affects biology. That's a certain broad way of stating that. Notice stated that way, you are making biology synonymous with genetics, which ain't so, but nonetheless, that's a certain broad level of stating it. In another discipline, a very sort of first pass at molecular stuff, what is epigenetics about? It's the way in which environment turns genes on and off. And at another level of explanation, more reductive, what is epigenetics about? It is regulation of chromatin remodeling and methylation of genes and all of that. Do not panic if that's not the level you want to know it about. That's the business from the other day about changing access of transcription factors to DNA, jargony way of doing it. Don't worry, the main point being that this is a completely different level of defining this. This is the whole point in here. We are beginning to see different disciplinary approaches. We are beginning to see where one discipline has decided they've answered a question. This is how culture affects biology. Give me a break. Show me which genes we're talking about. We're talking about genes here. Give me a break. Show me, is this chromatin remodeling? What's the mechanism for it? How reversible is it? One discipline's answers, the next one's starting point, blah, blah. One discipline's wonderfully satisfying scientific answer is the basis for the next discipline to be totally contemptuous of them. You call that science. This is sort of the whole point here, beginning to see how we could chip our way between these. More bits of clarification. Amid that, one of the things that really came through is in the sort of ratio of praising to trashing. I was clearly spending a lot of the last 2 days trashing the behavior genetics approaches. So a little bit of clarification there. First off, we can broadly divide what came the last 2 days into classical behavior genetics, and that's the comparing monozygotic and dizygotic twins. That's the adoption studies. That's the twins adopted at birth. That's all of those approaches there. Those are all the ones where you are just inferring really indirectly that there's something genetically going on there. The other half, and much more sort of the modern behavior genetics, is marrying these traditional approaches with molecular biology. And that was the business at the end. You know the gene, and you kind of have an idea of what it might do. How does that map onto behavioral variability in humans? You know the behavior, and you've got some sense of its variability. How does that map onto variability in genes? This is the much more powerful contemporary end of it. So what is this end good for? Is all it's good for is pronouncing that something's genetic, or it's 73% genetic, and then you trash it because that's gibberish. What it's good for mainly is, okay, so you've got an adoption study, classical behavior genetic study, where they're adopted right at birth within seconds and raised in different households. Oh, you haven't ruled out environment. Don't forget prenatal environment. Oh, you haven't ruled out environment. Remember the non-random assignment of adoption, all of that. Does this mean this approach is useless? No, what it's good for is demonstrating nonetheless, well, we've just ruled out all sorts of realms of environment that people would guess is consequential. It's less consequential than you think. We haven't ruled out environment entirely, and just because it's all gene-environment interactions, we certainly can't come up with a stupid number like that. But what this is good for is at least showing here's domains where people, a lot of people would have assumed there's big environmental effects, much less than you would think. So that's the much more conservative sort of sobrietist thing that people can do with that field. The fact that far too few of them actually do that is reasons to trash it. No, well, nonetheless, there's lots of good things in behavior genetics, but that's the limited domain where it's useful. Okay, so just beginning to get a sense here of the various things that are confusing. Obviously, no one on earth in any exam in here is going to be asked to choose which field is better and which field gives more, you know, kumbaya and all of that, but just recognizing the different approaches and the wonderful rainbow diversity of ways to think about, you know, mating and fruit flies or whatever, and just beginning to see by now, this is what the whole class is about. Speaking of that, I recall from the first class that there's somebody in here who I think was an English lit grad student. If you have a chance, email me about how it's going in here. Let's see, what else? Next week, you know, that, I'm curious. I'm very pleased, whoever you are, assuming you haven't fled after the first class, is in here. Let's see, other stuff. Okay, schedule. Next Monday, this coming Monday, we will have a lecture on yet another of our disciplines, ethology, and we will see that's a totally different way of doing it, blah, blah. Wednesday, Friday, and the following Monday are the catch-up lectures in class taught by the TAs. Two of the lectures, Introduction to the Nervous System, the third one, Introduction to Endocrinology. It will be a broad overview. It is explicitly designed for people who have no prior background in this, but what I think is probably a good idea is even if you believe you have prior background in it, maybe assume it might be a good thing to get a refresher on it, and this will be very useful. Following that, we will have two more lectures, more advanced topics and basic features of neuroendocrinology, and then staggering into the midterm, and then, then the second half comes, just a sense of what's coming. Okay, so that's where we're at. So now we transition to the next subject here, which is, no, actually, before I forget, how many, did people see this, the article in the New York Times this morning about the study, the Chutes and Ladders study? Did anybody see it?
Fucking
It was
losers.
posted.
Don't even keep up with the
Nobody saw
literature.
it?
The New York
this
Times
was-
is the literature?
The
You know
literature
game
for class.
Chutes
He
and Ladders?
posted it, Kyle. He said he posted
Okay, we
it.
all played Chutes and Ladders. This was this massive study funded by the World Health Organization, where what they did, this is going to be the definitive study on the subject. They showed that people from Nepal are better at playing Chutes and Ladders than are people from Belgium. Cool study. I don't know how you guys missed it. Okay, you need to know about this. This is important. What do you want to know about this study? This massive study shows that people from Nepal are better at Chutes and Ladders than people from Belgium. Ask me questions, since you were terribly, woefully underinformed about this. What more information do you need to be impressed and tell everybody about it in the dorm tonight? What else do you want to know about the study? What does better mean? Okay, social relativist, and does it mean that you learn more about yourself playing Chutes and Ladders? Do it mean that you make the world you win, you win, win, win. Okay, so winning is the end point. Good question. What else do you want to know about the study? Yeah. Why? Why, you ask that? Read Aristotle. Since humans first pulled out of the mud, this has been the thing we have wanted to know. And now we do. Son, the difference between knowledge and wisdom. Okay, so why? Okay, what else do you want to know? What other questions? Yeah. The methods, very good. Okay, various methods. Do you want to break it down into more details, given some of the critical tools you have by now in terms of methods before deciding how impressed you are or not with this study? What sort of questions now in the methodological realm? Yeah. Ah, very good question, because we see a first methodological issue. Are you getting a decent sample size so that you're confident that you can actually say something about the population at large? And that's a great question. It was done on everybody in Nepal and everybody in Belgium. Good study. Okay, what else do you want to know? What other questions? Yeah. Well, that's an excellent question. Every single person in the study from both Belgium and Nepal played one game against every single other person in the study. That's why you haven't been hearing much about either country in the news lately. They've been very busy with this study. Okay, so good methodology, large sample size, random assignments of games. What else do you want to know? Yeah.
Why is the question researchers ask worth reading about?
Why they? Okay, that one again. It's self-evident. Know thyself, or know the Nepalese and the Belgians or something. I'm glad I know this now. I'm glad they went and did that. Okay, what else do you want to know? Obviously a matter of subjective taste as to what counts as an important scientific subject. This strikes me as critical. What else do you want to know in terms of what sort of conclusions? They kind of hint, they're not positive, but they're kind of hinting at a genetic component to it. Yeah, question in the back there. Yeah.
What skills are involved in Chutes and Ladders?
What skills are involved? It involves, what is it? They have a whole list there. Let's see. Various tasks involving spatial memory, various tasks involving reversal performance and telekinesis. So it taps into all of those domains. What else do you want to know about the study? Yeah. Is it heritable? Great. Oh, is it heritable? So which are you asking there? Okay, well, they did it. I mean, they are suggesting there's some degree of heritability, and they did it right. They went after all the issues we've learned about by now. Specifically, what I'm saying is that every single person in Nepal and in Belgium was cross-fostered to somebody in Ecuador. In fact, they did it fetally, right after conception. So they can, the prenatal stuff, what else do you want to know in order to decide, am I impressed about the fact that people from Nepal are better at Chutes and Ladders than people from Belgium? Yeah.
Were they all given the exact same amount of Chutes and Ladders as children?
Oh, yes. In fact, none of them had been exposed to it before. They were all raised in hydroponic gardens without Chutes and Ladders, and they were only released in time for doing this. Okay, what else? Yes? Oh, good question. Here we are getting to that, all of that. Everybody got the exact same score from Nepal, and everybody from Belgium got the exact same score. So that's kind of impressive. Are you impressed yet?
Why is this result surprising? Okay, my guess is what he's probably getting at is that he's listing every single environmental variable that's impossible to control for, and then he's going to say, well, this is all the reasons why you can't say that people in Nepal are genetically better. That's my guess. I don't know. What do you think we're going with this line of questioning, Kyle?
I'm not sure.
All
Something
right.
tells me all we have to do is listen, and pausing it is only making it take longer.
Kyle, we're guessing. We're taking part in the excitement, okay? All right.
Are you impressed enough yet to go run out of here screaming with this news? What else do you need to know? Yeah. Who went first? They randomized it. They randomized it by the entire populations
I need
played.
to move all of this down one.
What is that? Rochambeau, yes. They played Rochambeau, and best of all, they had to play Rochambeau in Esperanto. Yes. More.
Really? You can't move?
Shut the fuck up.
They were released from a hydroponic garden, and then all of them were placed in a completely sterile bubble environment where all they had in there were copies of People magazine in a language they didn't understand. So it was environment was very well controlled for. What else do you need to know? There we have it. They had a huge sample size. They cross-fostered as fetuses. They controlled for environment. They got everybody in there. They did the right techniques. They randomized it, every possible choice. That is so impressive. That is so impressive. How big is the difference? Is it a big difference? And this is a critical thing to start putting there in your armamentarium of critical questions.
Wait, we're actually getting at a point for 20 minutes of
a whole bunch of tools by now. Whoa, they said genetic. Did you control for this? Did you control for that?
I want my money back on this
Whoa,
lecture.
they see a difference there. Well, wait a second.
he's
Did
got
they all have the same
hour and 15 minutes,
Did they have a big sample size? All of it covered. Great, wonderful, perfect science. They've got every single bit of it covered there. But then the critical thing you better ask is, how big is the difference? Is it impressive or not? Because we all think we've got the basic tools, or hopefully we all have the basic tools for going at these issues. Okay, was a study done in a way that was clear-cut and objective? Were people blinded to whether or not this person was Nepalese or Belgian, or was there appropriate blinding? Was it done in a way that you can falsify your finding? In a sense, the definition of experimental science. Was it designed in that? Was it independently replicated by anybody else? We all have those tools under our belt by now, but far too often we are not trained at that point to say, wait a second, before I get all excited, how big of a difference was it? Let me give you a real example of this. And this was a paper about 3 years ago in the journal Science, which you should get a sense by now that the journals Science and Nature are the two official biggie ones on this planet in terms of credibility. And this was a paper having to do with IQ. And this was a paper having to do with IQ and birth order. And what they showed in this paper with spectacular statistical confidence and as much of like all the controls in place as you can ask for from the hydroponically gardened fetuses in Nepal, they did absolutely perfectly. What they showed in the definitive study with 250,000 18-year-olds in Norway was that there is a reliable IQ difference depending on whether you are firstborn or latter-born. Okay, how many of you are firstborn?
Uh-oh.
Whoa. How many of you are only childs? Okay. How many of you are number two? How many of you are more than number two? Okay, so how many of you think the highest IQ comes from the firstborn? Okay, and we'll assume the converse with the other group. Did anybody just vote against their own birth order? Whoa, okay. Well, that's impressive. We salute you. Okay, so they found a difference. They found a difference which is firstborns, in this very statistically reliable way, have higher IQs than latterborns. They restricted the analysis just to secondborns to keep things clearer, and they showed firstborns have higher IQ than secondborns. 250,000 people, as close as you can get to all the people from Nepal and Belgium.
Okay,
huge sample size. So they report this. This was the most
Do you count as a firstborn?
ever done.
I don't know.
So
Or if you
what
count.
sort of questions do you want to ask? Give me hypotheses for what's going on. Obviously, sort of
I do
one
not.
is that like the parents pour protein into the ears of firstborn and the second one just gets Fritos or something. But give me other hypotheses for what could be happening.
Wait, they said firstborn was higher IQ?
Explanation for this in terms of biological, socio-cultural, endo-immuno, psycho, yeah.
I think we already know that firstborns tend to be more like, well, I mean, it's like the parents, they're more worried about making mistakes, and they kind of raise them harder, so to speak, and then they sort of relax in the second-born child. So we already know that firstborns tend to go to college and stuff like that, do more traditional successful.
Okay, so great hypothesis. It's more parental investment in the firstborn, and those are the ones where the parents freak out with everything, and by the time there's the third one, they're all foraging on their own when they're 6 months old. Okay, so parental investment. They went after that one correctly. Here's what they showed to rule that out, which was if you are an only child, you have a lower IQ on the average, blah, blah, than firstborns who have younger siblings. So it's not parental investment, it's something about being the firstborn of multiples. Yeah.
Competition? Capitalism, Kyle?
When do we get to the lecture about the marketplace of ideas?
So pressure on the firstborns to be firstborn, how would that raise IQ?
Whoa, Kyle.
I don't have any red.
Okay, so that's one of the models out there. A variant on that is firstborns get pushed into a tutoring position early on the well-known fact that occasionally now and then teaching something actually causes you to know what you're talking about. So the firstborn.
Wait, where the fuck is this going? This hooks up to copper, Kyle.
Oh, that would
control what? I thought that
single
was
child versus the firstborn.
Oh no, wait, never mind. No, it doesn't.
Difference there.
My mind is
so
blown.
maybe it's
My
a
bad.
tutoring
Fuck
phenomenon.
you.
What else could be happening? What other possible notions? Yeah. Okay, great idea. Up to age 12, latterborns tend to have higher IQs than firstborns. By age 18, which is when this was studied, was carried out, it flips the other way around. So any hypotheses for why this difference occurs? Why by 12 years of age, latterborns tend to have higher IQs than firstborns? Why does it then flip afterward? Yeah. Okay, so is it IQ testing some biases with that? What would rule against that, though, is that the age controlling for only children versus firstborns. So that would definitely be a possibility. That was ruled out. Yeah. Good. Okay, so another version of a parental investment model there, which is the fewer the children, the more parental energy. So again, that's one of the standard things in the field. They ruled that out with comparing the only children versus firstborn child. So that's been a dominant model in the field. So
Obviously, it's genetics, you know.
Yeah.
Firstborns have better genetics.
Oh, okay. What's your idea about that?
Oh shit, that's the good one, Kyle.
Okay, so we've got an intrauterine effect. So we've got egg quality and age
younger
of mom
mother
and all
means
of
higher,
that.
better
They
prenatal environment.
control for that, the age of the
Oh, never mind.
Does
But it
anybody
was wrong.
think of
Fucking
something,
idiot. What a
another
dumb fucking
intrauterine
bitch, Kyle. What a
mechanism,
stupid
though?
idiot.
What's the difference between
Get
being
these
a
women out of our
fetus,
science
which
classes.
is the
I know, right?
womb of your mother,
Don't belong in
versus
STEM
being the
fields.
second or third or fourth. What's one of the biological things that might happen? Yeah. Okay, stress levels, which is a way of stating something about intrauterine environment. The more times you've done this, perhaps the more stressed you are in there. What else could biologically, that's definitely one of the things, what else biologically can happen over time? Remember progesterone the other day from that lecture of making new if-then clauses and glucocorticoids, and this is a bit of a stretch. This takes some sort of fair amount of OB/GYN knowledge. What's a danger as you have more and more pregnancies in terms of your immune system?
It's weird.
Or
Yeah, wait, I heard
higher
that
chance
mumble.
of rejection of baby?
autoimmune diseases again? I
Okay.
don't know.
Immune suppression. So mom could be getting
Immune
suppression,
healthy,
yeah.
which is another version of tapping into that.
Is there a
notion
meme where
there
like if you have like
in
if
terms
you
of
get
egg
pregnant a
quality
second
with
time, your
age,
body is more likely
separative
to
age,
attack the
number of
baby?
times you've gone through this. What could be another possibility immunologically?
I could be wrong, but I
with
feel like that
repeated
was a thing that I
pregnancies?
remember
Yeah.
learning about.
He was talking about autoimmune diseases from pregnancy in the previous lecture.
Okay, despite that immune suppression, on the average, with later pregnancies, you have a greater likelihood of having formed antibodies against aspects of the fetus.
Yeah.
They controlled for that.
Oh,
They
nice.
showed if
Controlled
you were
for it. What a great
second-born,
experiment, Kyle.
and there were kids after
Fucking
that.
scientists
If you were
think of everything,
second-born
god
and the
damn.
firstborn died, you reverted to the firstborn IQ, showing that it was not anything about, oh, you were the second fetus in there with more antibodies. They controlled for that. That's actually one of the ideas they brought up in
Holy
there.
shit, they
What
controlled for
else?
everything,
How about
Kyle.
that business
I
about
know.
Why are
This is
firstborn
not-
so
secondborn
smart?
does better
Are we gonna
after
run out
that
of
by
lecture
age
time?
18, the
Only an
firstborn
hour
does better.
or
Any
so
theories
left.
of that? Yeah.
Could it have to do maybe with like how fast they grow or something? Maybe we talked about how like for
What if he was the researcher and he doesn't know and he's actually farming his students for ideas? He's like House, Kyle.
He's like, I was about to. Which is a stupid idea.
Okay, so an early advantage and you pay for it later type deal. So that's a possibility. What else could come in? Think about, back to the idea there, about if you're a firstborn, some of the firstborn responsibility stuff, how that plays out in family dynamics early on. Why are the secondborns doing better in the first dozen years? Why does it reverse later on? More ideas about that. Yeah.
the second-born benefits from tutelage of the firstborn early in life, but later on having the older child having had that experience of being responsible benefits from that.
Exactly. That's one of the main theories. That's probably the predominant one proposed
Wait, what
to
is it?
explain that age switch.
Couldn't hear.
You get the second kid show up, and suddenly you have a neotenized, dumbed-down environment where suddenly the 8-year-old kid is watching Tinky Winky again for the first time in 6 years. That it's an environment that's been dominated more by having a younger one around, and what the older one is mostly doing is the tutoring, and it takes a number of years for the advantages of that to finally come through. That's the main model that's given for that. Any other ideas? How about parental resource stuff? The fact that the larger the family, on the average, in westernized countries, the lower the socioeconomic status. Run with that one. Where does that fit in? What else? What else could be happening with that? Yeah.
If the socioeconomic status of the family is lower, then that suggests
Wait, what is
that
this?
children might bear more.
Doesn't work.
In some respects, with more children in the hospital, they have to grow up more quickly as they expose to the real world.
Good. It's the later ones who are out hunting squirrels and not getting the violin lessons. That's another version of the parental resource one. One being because there's a smaller ratio of parents to kids. The other being because the more kids, the more expensive for the same parental income. You have got less to spread to each child. So they controlled for that, looking at within family rather than just between family. They covered all of this. This is going to be the definitive study for the rest of all of time, showing what's going on with IQ by birth order in 18-year-olds in Norway in 2007. And essentially, what was the magnitude of the difference for this study? 2.3 IQ points.
Oh, well.
And thus, coming back to what could have been the very first question sitting there when these guys were ready to announce this to the world and sort of start, selling their Be Like a Firstborn IQ self-help books and all of that, lost in there. And this was picked up all over the press and, like, no doubt, endless snotty comments by David Letterman or what. And nobody, 2.3 IQ points. You sneeze while you're taking an IQ test and have to wipe your nose for 8 seconds afterward.
Save your
and that's
money,
gonna
less
cost you
than.
2.3 IQ points because you get distracted for a second. An amazing example of this whole business of, yes, impeccable science.
Thanks,
that these people
SBN.
did phenomenal. I don't know who possibly gave them the money to do a study like this. And at the end of the day, totally cool, irrefutable, statistically totally reliable, which is very different from saying important. But what you got at the end of the day was this mammoth study producing 2.3 difference. And this is a great demonstration. The difference between how solid the science is, how confident you are of the finding, which takes in all the variables of sample size and objectivity, how confident you are of the finding, and how big of a finding it is, and those could be two entire differences. So as a prelude to all the stuff that's going to come in the second half of the course, one of the next tools you have to have in mind, in addition to all the ones that were apparent here in the questions you were asking, another one is to keep saying, well, is this a big effect? Is this a reliable effect? Is different from, is this a big effect? Is this a consequential one? So another tool to have in hand. So with that in hand, go and tell everybody tonight about chutes and ladders. Okay, so what we jump to now is something that's been running through a whole bunch of the lectures already. Okay, we've got all those evolutionary models of individual selection and kin selection and in-group and out-group, and we've got something about the molecular biology of why it is that you share 50% of your genes with this relative and 25 and 12 and a half and all of that. And somewhere in there, lurking through all of it is a question, which is what we'll focus on now, which is how do organisms, how do animals, how do individuals recognize relatives? Because you can't do any of that evolutionary biology, kin selection theory stuff where it's all predicated on degree of relatedness unless you know how related am I with this individual. So what we're going to be looking at here is why or how. Sure, let's go for how instead of why. How do animals, how do social animals recognize kin? What's clear is it does not take a very fancy organism. And there was a great example of this, which I think I stuck in the extended notes last minute, a paper published just a couple of weeks ago, looking at deer mice. Deer mice, and much like their vole cousins, if they are cousins, some deer mice strains are monogamous and some are polygamous. This appears to be a frequent theme in these little rodent things. And with the deer mice, what you find is with the polygamous ones, one female mates with a bunch of males, and as a result, one female will have sperm from a number of different males afterward in the vagina, and what you get is evolutionarily, from all the rules we learned by now, perfectly logically, you get intrasexual competition between the sperm from the different males. We already heard a version of that with the flies back the other week there, where the sperm of one releases toxins that kill the other sperm, but in the process could damage the female's future. All of that, this is a theme that runs through a lot of the literature on sexual competition. Sperm competition, and there's even hints that something like that goes on in humans. Okay, so what form does it take in these deer mice? As follows. I don't begin to understand the mechanics of this, nor do I want to, but apparently with deer mice sperm, if they all clump together, you know, many hands on the oars or something, if they all clump together, you get this macro sperm thing, which swims upstream faster. And the paper had all sorts of diagrams of this, which I did not want to look at in much detail. But there's this, so you've got with the polygamous strains, you've got this problem. If your sperm want to do things absolutely correctly, they only want to form one of these big old, you know, pleasure boat aggregate crew things with sperm from themselves. With sperm from only themselves, and following all of our theorizing, to a lesser extent with close relatives, and not at all with sperm from some other guy. And that's precisely what they showed in this paper. You take sperm from monogamous strains and you put sperm from different males together and they all happily form this big cooperative clump of sperm there. But you take them from species that have evolved under the selective pressure of polygamy, and the sperm there know who they're related to and will form these clumps only with the ones from themselves. You can immediately design all sorts of lock and key stories for how that's pulled off. You could immediately come up with some approximation of what the molecular mechanism would be. But for first pass, what's striking here is, ooh, how do organisms recognize relatives? There are out there single cells that can do this under exactly the evolutionary circumstances models that we've got already. So as we begin to look now at how whole organisms do it, even cells can do it. And we're going to see lots of different possible mechanisms. In lots of species, what you have is some equivalent of what those single sperm are doing, which is there is innate recognition of relatives. How do you show this? We already know the classic ways of doing this, which is the crossed fostering approach. You take a litter, newborn litter, and your rodents, and you cross-foster them to other females. And if later on they can behaviorally differentiate between their siblings and non-siblings, there's something innate about it. Oh, wait a second, what about prenatal environment? Wasn't there something about... So now you do the prenatal cross-fostering, the fetal transplant approach, and you get the exact same thing. There is innate recognition of relatedness in all sorts of rodent species. Another way of doing it even cleaner, you have two different litters from the same mother and father rodent, and then they meet together, so there was no shared prenatal environment, and you can show recognition there. You put the rat later on into the cage where there's the urine of its sibling, and there's a urine of the perfect stranger, and they will prefer going to that one. You could show that it's even more subtle than that. They will prefer to go to the urine of a full sibling versus a half sibling versus a first cousin, all the way on down. They could take it out to about third or fourth cousins. Incredible discrimination there that can go into it, and it has to be that way, or else all of the theorizing from the other day, you can't figure out how to give up your life for 2 cousins or 8 brothers or 2 cousins or whatever the math is, unless you know.
What's going on with the mic today?
And in some species where it's done entirely instinctually, that would be the way you demonstrate it.
Write a letter and complain.
What's the mechanism there in those cases? The most studied ones are olfactory signatures. Pheromones, we've already heard that term in here, and we're going to hear tons more about it, but pheromonal communication. What does that begin to require? If you have pheromones, odorants coming out of, say, the urine from different individuals telling you your degree of relatedness to them, it requires 2 things. It requires qualitative differences in the urine, reflecting the genetic makeup of the individual who provided that urine to the grad student, and it requires some mechanism, some olfactory brain processing mechanism to be able to pick up whatever those differences are. And both have been shown. Okay, the way you begin to get the differentiation at the end of how the urine smells differently. What you've got, and referred to back with the transposable stuff, is you remember in vertebrates, you've got some of your highest rates of transposable events in your immune system, your genes devoted to immunity, where you juggle them around, and that's how, with any luck, you come up with an antibody that will recognize this completely novel pathogen. All of that, there's an additional stretch of genes in that neighborhood where what happens with that is it also undergoes huge amounts of splicing and transposition and juggling and all of that, and what you do then is you create a completely unique protein. You do it in enough of a combinatorial way that it would take, statistically 400 quadrillion Google Flex whatevers to come up with another organism with the exact same protein signature. When you make a protein from that, you have made up one that no other organism on Earth has with a very high statistical reliability. This is a stretch of genes called the major histocompatibility complex, MHCs. And what you see with those is histocompatibility, that whole business with organ transplants, how compatible of a donor is it, how closely related, how much of this jargon, for those of you who know it, how much of a shared antigenic determinant, how genetically similar is this fingerprint, this identifying ID of a protein that determines things like histocompatibility, how well organ transfers work. That's the origins of the term. So every single one of us, every single organism out there has made a arguably unique juggle of these genes and comes up with this signature protein that it sticks on the surface of every single one of its cells. What's that good for? That's good for your immune system learning if we run into a cell with one of those things, it's us. Don't attack it. Don't form antibodies against it. And if we run into anything else in here that doesn't have one of those, it's an invasive pathogen, and go attack it. This is the basis of the self, non-self recognition ability of the immune system. And what autoimmune diseases are is when your immune system screws up and begins to mistake one of your signature proteins, your major histocompatibility gene-derived signature protein, as in fact being invasive. And one of the other things you hear about, the other day we heard about this tropical parasite, trypanosome. What it does, as you heard, was it keeps juggling its surface proteins. So just as your immune system is all set to attack it because it's got antibodies to recognize it, it has changed its signature protein. There's another tropical parasite, schistosomes, where what they do is they steal your major histocompatibility proteins from the surface of some of your cells and glue it on themselves, and they are wolves and sheep major histocompatibility proteins or some such things. So that's one major domain where this unique protein derived from a unique gene, unique protein signature lets your immune system work properly. So it turns out there's another whole domain with it, which is these proteins can become soluble, which means they're no longer anchored to a cell, they're just floating around. And ultimately, they're floating around in your saliva, in your urine, in your armpit exudates, or whatever it is. And what they begin to do, complicated mechanisms, which I think I will bypass, what they do is give a unique signature to the pheromones coming off of you. And as we will see in lectures to come, animals of all sorts of species can tell, is this individual of my species? Are they the same gender? Or are they an adult? Are they sexually mature? Or are they healthy? Or are they pregnant? Whatever. But thanks to this major histocompatibility business, they can also tell, is this a relative? Now, the juggling events, the splicing and the juggling of the genes, has some degree of statistical relatedness the more closely related you are. In other words, you smell your own urine, if that's your hobby, and the major histocompatibility genes in there will obviously exactly match your own. You smell those of a full sibling, even more questions to be asked, and you do that, and there will be a greater degree, statistically, of similarity of the structure of that protein than with a second cousin, than with a perfect stranger, than with a Nepalese if you're from Belgium, whatever it is. What you find in those cases is that's how you not only get innate
Feel like we're watching the Animal Planet, Kyle.
recognition of, is this a relative
Got
or
away
not,
just in time. Good job.
how related of a relative. So that's half of it. That's how you generate the unique signature at the olfaction, at the pheromone end. The other trick is, how do you generate an olfactory system that can make that discrimination? And all we got to go with at that point is, you can guess, if you think about it a bit, is we got to have some version of olfactory receptors that do the old lock and key business. Just as you make a protein, which has a certain shape, indicating that this is your unique signature. What you want to do is have receptors that will have the uniquely complementary shape for the lock and key, so that you can do oh, this fits perfectly. Let's transduce this to a signal to the brain saying, I'm smelling my armpit. And if instead you've got a protein that fits in there like a lock and key, but not quite as well, you send the message of, oh, I'm smelling my sibling's armpit. And if it fits in there not quite as well, and all the way down, you could begin to see exactly how you designed this. If you've got 1,000 of these receptors of this shape, and every single one of them, it has them fitting in well enough to stay in there for 3 seconds, so that all 1,000 of them send the signal. It takes 3 seconds of binding there to cause the signal to happen. All 1,000 of them send the signal. It means it's me. It doesn't fit quite as well, so statistically only 800 of them stay in there for 3 seconds. So 800 of the cells are reporting, oh, that's a full sibling. I don't know if that's the mechanism, but this would be a way of constructing it. That's exactly how it could be, along the lines of lock and key, genes produce proteins of certain shapes, certain functions, all of that, and that's how you begin to do it. What have we just gotten? We've gotten a protein, a molecular basis of our theorizing the other day of an if-then clause. If and only if this is a close relative, then send the message to the neurons that do cooperation. We already know that's gibberish to say that there's neurons that do cooperation, but you could begin to see how this is going to work. This is the if part of all the conditional if-then clauses built around degree of relatedness. So how does your olfactory bulb do this? Very interestingly, people are beginning to get a sense of two hormones that are relevant to this. One is called oxytocin, and the other is called vasopressin. And what we will see in lectures to come is, particularly in females, oxytocin has long been known to play some like plumbing nuts and bolts job in giving birth, and vasopressin and uterine contractions, and take your average like off-the-rack endocrinologist, and what these hormones are about is like your uterus contracting and giving birth. But oh, that's so little of what they do. What they're much more interestingly involved with is what happens next, which is now beginning to learn how to recognize the smell of the individual you just gave birth to. Because it turns out what oxytocin and vasopressin do in the olfactory bulbs, the olfactory system, the olfactory equivalent of your eyes and ears, is they tune up the cells that recognize major histocompatibility signals. They make them attuned to, is this a relative or not? And there's an if-then clause. If the levels of this hormone have the certain high levels indicating that I just gave birth, and I smell something whose signature odorants fit really well into this receptor, then this is someone who I'm going to nurse like crazy unless it turns out to be my mother or grandmother. Okay, let's put another. If they're very little and cutesy and make cute little mewling sounds, then I will take care of them and nurse them and all that sort of thing. And it's turning out that that's what oxytocin and vasopressin are doing there. You generate mice with genetically knocking out oxytocin or vasopressin, or their receptors. If these are totally new terms, this will come by the week after next as an introduction. You knock out those genes and you get what is called a social anosmia. Anosmia is the inability to smell something. A social anosmia is your nose is working just fine if you're a rat. You can discriminate different food types, completely arbitrary odors. You just can't distinguish between individuals. And there was a paper a couple of weeks ago showing for the first time what the model has always been is that circulating oxytocin and vasopressin get into your olfactory system and have those effects. What this paper showed for the first time is you're making those hormones right in your nostrils to begin with. This is what tunes it up. Very interestingly, there's also a literature emerging suggesting mutations in genes relevant to oxytocin and vasopressin in families with a high incidence of autism. Autism, a disease where one way of characterizing it is there are enormous deficits in normal socialization, interaction, social bonding, social affiliation, and this suggests that has something to do with it. Okay, so that's a first mechanism. That's how it might work innately. Very cool study in recent years, also showing one facet of this. One of the things you get taught in intro neuro, if you've taken it any time in the last 5,000 years, is when you've got an adult brain, it doesn't make any more neurons. You've got all the neurons you're ever going to get by the time you're 3 years old, and all you can do thereafter is squander them away on like stupid weekend binges or whatever. And it turns out that nonetheless, this is not true. And arguably, this is the biggest revolution in neuroscience in the last decade or so, adult neurogenesis. And it turns out this adult neurogenesis happens in only 2 areas in the brain. The first one is really interesting because it's this part of the brain called the hippocampus. Hippocampus, learning, memory, it's totally cool. And a gazillion studies now showing stuff like you learn a new fact. You stimulate neurogenesis in your hippocampus. You get put in an enriched environment. You exercise. You do all sorts of stuff. You make new neurons there. You get stressed. You make less new neurons there. There's a whole new field, and 99% of the studies have been about these populations of neural stem cells in the hippocampus. Totally ignored has been the second little pocket of these neural stem cells that can make new neurons. Nobody's interested in it. What's this about? It's totally boring. Where's the second pocket? Just behind the olfactory bulb. And what this study showed, and this is one in your reader, just at the abstract, what it showed was if you have a rat, right around the time she gets pregnant, she starts making new neurons out the wazoo, not from the exciting hippocampal pocket, but from this boring little olfactory end. What goes on with the onset of pregnancy? Female rodents do this massive renovation job of all their olfactory neurons going on there. What it is, they showed in the study, it is driven by the prolactin levels that rise during pregnancy. And what have you got there? What they showed was right around the time she gives birth, she's got this spanking new, completely renovated olfactory system, just in time to do one of the most important olfactory things of her life, which is quickly figure out which ones are her babies, to quickly do the social bonding to them. What hasn't been tested yet, but what I guarantee has to be there, is that vasopressin and oxytocin has to have some sort of role going on in there. Really interesting. Interesting implication of this. So think about this. If you were pregnant, and assuming this works in mammals other than rodents, and if you were pregnant, so the whole time you were pregnant, what's going on? You're doing this huge job of ripping out, you know, the walls and the plumbing in your olfactory bulb, and like putting in new stuff, and it's a total mess. Like you spend your pregnancy with your olfactory system totally cockeyed. No wonder stuff smells weird, and no wonder foods taste weird and all of that. There is a whole adaptationist literature out there on why should it be that you suddenly want pickles and these foods you can't stand the taste of, and it's to avoid inadvertently eating toxins. A really unconvincing spandrel-filled literature out there. It may be an inadvertent spandrel byproduct of you're ripping apart the whole olfactory system so you're all set to recognize the smell of your kids. You just got screwy olfaction and taste all throughout pregnancy. The main point of this, though, is this is endocrine regulation driving not to make you able to recognize a relative, because you've already got the genes in place for that, just making sure that your olfactory bulb is at the very best at that time for doing it. Okay, what else does one want to know about that? Okay, one additional thing you could do with that information, which is, okay, so why do you want to know who your relatives are? It's who you mate with, it's who you cooperate with, it's who you try to kill, it's who you take care of, it's who all that sort of thing, all of these domains. Also, it's who you pay attention to socially in terms of gossip and such. One interesting study that was shown, which was with baboons, and this was those same folks at University of Pennsylvania. What they did was they recorded the voices. You notice this business about playing the voices of some animal in the bushes and looking at the response of everybody else is one of these standard tools. What they did in this case was the voice of two animals from that group, from that troop, and what was heard was the voice of the lower ranking animal giving a dominating vocalization, and the voice of the lower ranking individual giving this terrified subordinating noise. So they obviously were not getting a terrified subordinating noise out of number one, but they had to
What should I do with all this iron that I just minered up?
of number two and everybody else at some point or other. So now they could put them down there,
I'll
and they would
loop it
play
in.
this. So everybody else is
All right,
sitting
I'll
there
let you deal
saying,
with that then.
what? Number 4 is terrified of number 27. What's going on? And what they showed was everybody paid a huge attention to this. If they were hearing number 27 was trashing number 4 if they weren't relatives, but if they were in the same family and there was this dominance reversal, nobody paid attention. Crazy relatives, who knows what's going on in that family? They're just squabbling. They distinguish the social implications of a dominance reversal depending on relatedness or not. One additional thing with it, before we go to our next way of recognizing relatives after the break, hold on. One additional thing is, of course, telling you who to mate with. And it's obvious who you're supposed to mate with in species after species, someone who is not related to you, because if you do, you may inadvertently produce babies with 2 tails and 7 fingers and all of that. Nobody picked up on the fact that actually we have 10 fingers instead of 5, but we'll let that slide. But what you get there is, oh, avoid inbreeding, don't breed with relatives. Well, we've already heard about a counter argument. which is breed with relatives because of the inclusive fitness, the kin selection advantages of doing that. And from the first minute people started getting these theoretical models, it was clear that in fact there were contradictory pulls between do major outbreeding in your mating and doing inbreeding with your mating. And people did all these theoretical models of econometrics of where you optimize the different, and they came out with the conclusion that in all sorts of species, the optimal balance of avoiding inbreeding disasters with advantages of kin selection would be to mate with something like a third cousin. And you go and look at all sorts of species out there, and that's precisely what they do. That's where it balances out. And again, you can't do that unless you know relatedness. Then, a couple of years ago, along came this researcher, Martha McClintock, University of Chicago. She's the person who discovered the Wellesley effect back when. And for all of you guys who are gearing up for senior honors theses, this was her senior honors thesis, discovering the Wellesley effect. So this was like one impressive study. Yeah?
Did Darwin marry a second cousin?
Who did he married a first cousin? First cousin. There you go. When we all know he would much rather have married a Galapagos tortoise, but his parents forced him. Well, interesting. Okay, so you thus catapult us here into the human realm. What McClintock did was a study a couple of years ago where she took swabs. She has this whole paradigm of very high-tech, getting cotton balls and rubbing it on people's armpits and putting it in a jar there, and then getting these volunteers who can smell it and give some assessment of how good it smells or not, which in and of itself is pretty wild. And you run that with humans, and of a curve of relatedness, whose odor gets rated as having the most appealing? Third cousins. Yuck. Think about that one later. We are just another species in that regard. All of this suggesting, even in humans, you are balancing this disadvantages of inbreeding with the kin selection advantages. And again, there's no way you can do that without knowing who's related to what extent. Okay, 5-minute break, and what we'll then transition to are species that don't do it innately, but instead have to imprint early on after encountering them. Okay, let's get going again. Let's see.
Shut
First
the
off,
fuck up.
thanks to the wonders of Wikipedia never being that far away from us, we now know here were Charles Darwin's parents, who were third cousins, and then Charles Darwin married his first cousin. So there you have it, something or other, but this apparently was rather common at the time and is not quite the optimal according to Martha McClintock. Okay, so pushing on. So we've now seen why you would want to recognize your relatives and recognize the degree of relatedness, all of our models of who to compete with, who to mate with, who to nurse, who to take care of, who to be voyeuristic about. And we've seen the first domain where you can do that, which is to recognize somebody innately. And one very confusing aspect of it, which I managed to make confusing, is so what's up with olfaction with that and oxytocin and vasopressin and prolactin? Okay, as follows. It is innate that you will have receptors, olfactory receptors in your olfactory neurons, in your olfactory bulb, in your nose. It is innate that you will have olfactory receptors that will be able to detect degree of relatedness, how close an olfactory signature is to your own. That is innate. That will be there. What appears to be the case is oxytocin and vasopressin make you more likely to make those receptors, increase the number of those receptors. So this is not oxytocin and vasopressin making you suddenly be able to recognize relatives. It's just making you better at doing that, more sensitized to it.
This game needs an auto run button.
100 receptors reporting instead of 10 of them, more accuracy. What prolactin appears to be doing is, and this is understudied, but the best bet is this is another way of getting more of these olfactory receptors online right around birth to innately recognize your relative. In this time, instead of making neurons make more copies of the receptors, it's making more neurons. It's going to be more subtlety than that, but broadly, those are two different ways of making you better at doing something that is innate in you, rather than making you suddenly able to learn how to do this. So we now transition to the second way in which relatives are recognized, where it's not innate. It requires imprinting. It requires some sort of learning which leaves a long-lasting message of it. Imprinting. So now we got imprinting in yet another use of the word, and major use of it come next Monday. Imprinting, how an animal learns who its mother is, how a mother learns who its babies are, how it imprints on the smell, on the sound, on the whatever of its offspring or parent, how that learning goes on. What is clear is that's a case where the learning occurs at that point is innate. What is learned is experiential. Important sort of distinction there. Okay, so what goes on with this? So in lots of species, you learn the sound of your infant's voice. In lots of species, you learn the odor. In lots of species, you learn what they look like. Different species, different modalities that dominate. What goes into, for example, learning what your offspring smells like? Remember, it's not innate in these cases. For example, a goat, a sheep, whatever, they do not innately have the means of recognizing, oh, this is somebody whose major histocompatibility proteins are fairly similar to mine. In fact, they share 50% homology. Oh, this must be my child. That's not done that way. These are not innate cases. So what sort of rules might you have for how to recognize your offspring? Here's a simple one. Okay, there's a whole bunch of babies out here, and which ones are mine? And I'm a goat trying to figure out which one I'm going to nurse. What would be a good rule that is not innate? Instead, building on learning something at that point, I know I'm going to start taking care of whichever kid there smells like my vaginal fluids. That's a pretty reliable way of figuring out this is somebody you just gave birth to. Or this is someone who I lick as they're first coming out, and for a while afterward, I figure out who am I nice to? Someone who smells like my saliva. Someone who I scent mark right after this is someone who smells like my whatever glands I'm using there. This is someone who smells like my amniotic fluid. This is someone who, after I get that learned, I then nurse him for the first time. This is someone whose mouth smells like my milk. You could see now in this case, it is learning being built on top of whatever your own recognition system is of smell. You can have elaborations on this. How do you recognize a sibling in species where it is learned in this imprinting way? Oh, I'm going to imprint as a relative on somebody who smells just like mom. Somebody who smells like mom's vaginal fluid or her saliva or any of that same stuff going on there. Or I'm going to be nice to someone who smells like someone I mated with back when. That's another strategy. In various species, you could begin to see how all of these are ways of just getting logical information. Someone who has the voice like someone who I heard peeping when they were still inside the egg. Oh, it's them. I'm going to nurse. No, I'm not going to nurse them. I'm going to give them worms or whatever it is birds do. But all these ways of using sensory information to say, oh, that's the one, that's the one, that's how I know it's them. So all sorts of ways in which this could be done. How can you prove that this is not hardwired, this is not absolutely dominating? A technique we've been hearing about already, which is that cross-fostering business, which is you take newborn whatevers and you switch mothers on them, and the mothers will take care of them. What does that tell you? It means other attributes of these pups coming over to them, these rat pups, override the fact, wait, these kids don't smell like my vaginal fluid. Wow, they're cute though, and there's no other moms around, and they sure look cuddly, and so maybe it takes you 10 seconds to decide this is one of mine instead of 3 seconds. You have different things being played out there, contrasting sort of signals coming through. So that's another domain of doing that. So now we move to us and how we do recognizing relatives. And initially, what the answer seems to be is that we have a different version of it. We do not recognize relatives innately, nor do we recognize relatives by imprinting. We don't do that deal of like we smell our parents right after they're born, or we sniff the vaginal fluid and that's how we know who mom is forever after, or stuff like that. So we don't, instead what do? We do it cognitively. We figure it out. We think about it. We think about it with active, conscious, cognitive rules of how you know a relative is. And of course, what we're going to see shortly is that's not really how it works a lot of the time. But for a first pass, we do it cognitively. So now you do it instead of, this is someone who smells just like my vaginal fluid, the way the goats are doing, or this is someone who I innately recognize as my child, the way the rats are doing it. You're saying, well, that's the baby I just gave birth to, because they haven't taken him out of the room yet, so that must be a cognitive strategy. How do I know who the father is? Not because I can smell in the babies 50% sharing their major histocompatibility gene. This is the only person I had sex with during the cycle that I conceived. A cognitive strategy. This is what humans do again and again because we can think. We can go through stuff like that. We can also do other versions of it, which is, well, this is someone who I saw mom give birth to. Or at least when they took me out of the room and then they like gave me some stuffed animals to keep me from like getting too upset, and they said, here's your new baby, whatever. Oh, okay, which is a variant on, this is someone who's been around ever since I saw mom give birth to that individual. This is someone who looks like me. This is someone who looks like a family member. All of these cognitive strategies going into that. We think about it. We think about it. And it turns out we have brain mechanisms that are good for doing that too. But we're not the only species that thinks about it in that way. For example, baboons, wonderful study a few years ago, baboons can do this with some sort of statistical thinking. Okay, baboons are polygamous. Females will mate with a bunch of different males during her cycle and conceive, and thus it's not at all clear who the father is, but everybody there plays a guessing game, and everybody does some statistics. The usual rule is baboons, being a highly tournament species, males do no parental care of offspring. Turns out that's not quite the case. Some males do, when they're pretty sure who their kid is. And here's how it's done. You are a baboon and you are just hitting puberty, you're female, and what goes on is for like your first half dozen cycles, you're cycling with, you're probably not ovulating yet, you're not quite fertile, this happens in humans as well, and none of the big high-ranking guys are terribly interested in you. Probably because you're not pumping out a whole lot of interesting pheromones yet. So who do you wind up with? You wind up with some poor, like, adolescent schnook who has no chance to mate with anybody else, and nobody's contesting his ability to have a consortship with you. So you do all of your mating with him. The vast majority of the time, they're not fertile because you're not really off. Every now and then, though, you get this, like, junior high school baboon guy who gets his girlfriend pregnant, and he's the only one, and what tends to happen then is when she gives birth, he gives a fair amount of parental care to the offspring. So what does he have as a rule there? If I'm the only one who mated with her, if they're using a cognitive strategy, then I'll take care of the kid to some extent. And it is a sight to behold at how incredibly inept an adolescent male baboon is when he's trying to be paternal. But what you wind up seeing there is, well, maybe he's imprinted, maybe he's doing major histocompatibility, gene innate stuff, or maybe he's actually thinking, hey, I was with her 24/7, so it's got to be me, I'll take care of the kid. Now you see the more complicated circumstance where it's a more desirable female, more mature one, where there will be a bunch of males contesting. And what you will tend to see is 2 days before and after she ovulates, she'll be mating with number 10. A day before and after, she's mating with number 3. The day of ovulation, she's mating with number 1. That tends to be the pattern. Stay tuned. It doesn't fit that perfectly because female baboons also have some opinions about who they want to mate with. But nonetheless, there winds up being this pattern just like that. So there winds up being this pattern, and thus you're the male afterward when she gives birth, and you're trying to decide, is this my kid? Or should I give some male parental investment? And what is shown is baboon males do statistics. They do probability. What they do is, if this was a male who was mating during her prime ovulatory day, he is more likely to take care of the kid than a male who was mating during this window or this window. They are playing probability. They're not very good at it, no surprise, but nonetheless this pattern emerges. That's not innate recognition. That's not innate recognition of some smell. That's just thinking through it. Was I with her? Yeah, but she sure smelled a lot better the day after, and that other guy was with her, so I guess I'm in this category. Okay, well, I'll smile at the kid now and then and tell them I like their piano playing, but I'm not gonna like invest anything kind of stuff there. Here you see a conscious cognitive strategy. So okay, so us and other smart beasties like primates, here's another version of it, occurring in fish, in sunfish. And this was research done by that guy, David Sloan Wilson, that multi-level selection evolution guy, who actually has done research in like so many different fields, incredibly creative guy. Here's a study that he did. Sunfish males, surprisingly, are quite paternal in their taking care of their eventual offspring. They're almost as good as Nemo's dad. And what you've got there is in this version, I'm not going to draw fish mating. Forget that. Okay, so the guy mates with a female, and she eventually gives birth to kids, and he helps take care of them. Now, instead, he mates with a female, and you, the savagely heartless researcher, puts him in the next tank over where he can see what's happening, and you fiendishly, at that point, drop down a clear plastic box right next to the female with another male in there. In reality, he's not mating with a female, but he's right there. And this guy who's stuck on the other side of the barrier, going out of his mind with jealousy and petulance and all of that immature stuff. And what happens is, after she eventually gives birth, this apparently being the female in this diagram, after she gives birth, he doesn't take care of the kids as much. There is no difference in any of the sensory cues because he, in fact, is the only one who mated. This one is kept inside. There's some sort of cognitive stuff even going on in a fish. Remarkable. So it's not just us. So we've got this broad realm, innate strategies. One's on very all or none sensory imprinting, and then there's the folks who think through it. We're in the mainstream of that, but we're not the only ones. So how do our brains do that? There's a part of the human cortex called the fusiform cortex, and what it's good at is recognizing faces, which is a remarkable thing. It specializes in recognizing faces, facial expression, degree of relatedness. You show someone a good portrait of someone else, and you will get that part of the brain to activate as if it was their face. You show a good cartoon of somebody, it will do the same thing, maybe with a little bit less confidence. This is the specialized part of the cortex that does facial recognition. Remarkable. You look at people with autism, and this part of the cortex doesn't do a whole lot. You show a non-autistic individual a picture of a well-known loved one. Fusiform cortex activates a whole lot. You show them a picture of someone they don't know a whole lot. It activates somewhat to a lesser degree. You show them the picture of an armchair. Doesn't do anything at all. You take someone who is autistic and you show them, and you get the same low degree activation for all three. You know, mother equals stranger equals armchair. This in some ways is the core of what autism is about. You see that going on as played out in this part of the cortex. So that's really interesting. And then it turns out we're not the only species that has this specialized fusiform cortex. Primates have this as well, non-human primates. Sheep have it. It turns out pigeons, who could recognize pictures of each other, and why they would want to do that, God knows. But pigeons have a very proto version of a fusiform cortex. This seems to be part of what goes into this conscious cognitive strategizing of this is a face I've seen a whole lot more over the years, so this activates a lot more. This seems to suggest some sort of cortical specialization for recognizing individuals. More features of how humans do it. Something that humans are very good at, if they are human mothers, is recognizing the smell of their baby right after birth, and this has been shown to have a major histocompatibility component to it. In other words, that's not a purely cognitive strategy. There's some innate, instinctual olfactory signaling going on there. So a first bit of evidence that we are not just purely rational beasts to figure out who we're related to. Babies, very shortly after birth, are already spectacularly good at distinguishing the smell of mom versus somebody else. How do you tell that with a baby? You take a newborn baby and you give them, like on this side, some armpit smell of mom, and there's some armpit smell of, I don't know, Margaret Thatcher. And what you see then is that the baby, the newborn, is more likely, will spend more time turning its head towards mom's smell. That's how you know it. Newborn babies cannot distinguish between the smell of dad and any other male. It's not instinctual in that case. Newborn humans are doing some version of proximity to mom, vaginal fluid smell, whatever. This should be bringing up a question of, is there a difference in bonding in those early stages between vaginal birth, offspring, and cesarean? I don't know, but that suggests that should be happening, and maybe I should even find that out. Okay, other features of it. Newborn kids, as we already know from a couple of lectures ago, can recognize the voice of mom. How? From all that resonance there inside the amniotic fluid as mom reads them War and Peace, and as we also heard, they can't recognize the voice of dad. Not instinctual, in this case getting information on the sensory route, the amniotic environment as a good resonator for mom's voice. So we're now already getting a mixture here of some instinctual olfactory stuff, major histocompatibility complex stuff, some acquired, hardwired, sensory-driven stuff. Ooh, does this sound like the person whose voice I heard for those last 9 months? And then some cognitive stuff, trying to figure out who this relative is. Ooh, who did they come with to the party with? Who, all of that, the cognitive stuff. So already a suggestion that we're not just such pure cognitive machines. So where is that most interesting? And this is in a totally fascinating series of studies that were done over the years showing just how little conscious cognition might play out in us humans in some really critical realms, which is who you decide you are interested in mating with. Okay, so how does that work in humans? All sorts of different ways, but here's one way in which it does something interesting. And this was a classic study done by an anthropologist named Joseph Sheffer, and this is what he did. He studied people who grew up in Israel on kibbutzes. Kibbutzes, these are these traditional socialist sort of communes where none of them are like this anymore, but one of the early principles was one parent as good as another parent. All the kids are raised in these big communal bathtubs together, and it's one big sort of socialist Torah dance of everybody bathing naked together. And what Sheffer found was this very interesting thing, which is you are brought up in your age group. All the kids born this year are raised in the same communal group, and they take their baths together and they play together, and they've got the same, one parent takes all of them for one afternoon every Tuesday afternoon, and the next one comes for the next shift, and this big communal business there. And what Sheffer discovered was, if you were raised in the same age group as somebody anywhere up to 6 years of age, you never ever wind up marrying them. And this was not with a sample, an appropriate sampling. This was a study he did of every individual who ever grew up in the kibbutz system in Israel. We appear to have a rule as follows. If this is somebody who you spent a whole lot of time with before 6 years of age, this is someone who you sure don't want to grow up and marry. Yuck, I mean, you love them, they're incredible, but they feel like my sister, they feel like my brother. Whoa, that would be totally grotesque. There's never been a case of people brought up during the grow up in your first 6 years of life taking a whole lot of baths with someone, and you are not going to discover an amorous passion for them when they're 20 years old. They're going to feel like a sibling for you for the rest of your life. What is that telling us? We have a very non-cognitive strategy in there. Yes, who are relatives, who are appropriate people to mate with? Well, if we know that this is the daughter of mom's sister, then this person is not appropriate, and this whole cognitive, spend a whole lot of time naked with somebody taking baths and playing patty cake and counting their toes the first 6 years of life, they feel like a sibling. Something very similar was then shown by Arthur Wolf here in the anthropology department, a different cultural version, traditional Taiwanese marriages, where there's some equivalent of that, and where either you wind up with your future spouse at some insanely early age and basically get brought up with them from infancy, or it happens later, and if you're brought up from infancy with them, you have a disastrous marriage later on because they feel like a sibling for the rest of your life. So what this shows us here is, yes, we are these wonderful, rational, cognitive machines. We've got all sorts of innate strategies and sensory imprinting stuff going on instead in us. We are not a whole lot fancier than hamsters. What does this set us up for? A topic that's going to be real important when we come to the lectures on aggression and cooperation and competition and all of that, which is if we spend a lot of our time figuring out who we are related to cognitively, or even more importantly, if we are malleable in the way these kids growing up in Taiwan or these kibbutzes, if we are malleable in who we feel related to, it is possible to manipulate us in lots of ways to feel more related to individuals than we actually are, or to feel less related to individuals. And the terms for these are pseudo-kinship and pseudo-speciation. And what we will eventually see is when you make sense of human violence and human cooperation and human aggression and all of that, we are so easily manipulated as to who counts as an us and who counts as a them. And one of the brilliant things militaries all the world over do, whether you're talking about clans with warrior classes all the way up to sort of state militaries, what you see in all those cases is a brilliant understanding of how to make non-relatives feel like they're a band of brothers and how to make them seem so different they hardly even count as humans. So this ability for us to be manipulated in these subliminal ways as to who counts as a relative will come back to haunt us big time in making sense of a lot of human social behavior. In other words, we are not purely rational. Okay, so what we will do on Monday is switch another bucket now to this field of ethology, which once again is trying to make sense of what behaviors are hardwired, what does environment do. You will see a completely different approach.
For more, wow, a completely different approach, Kyle.
Can't even have a real bro. Do not have, bro. You're just you're delusional, Andy, bro. Touch me, bro. Touch me. You need to go. Touch me. You need to go. Touch me. Do something. Touch me. Do something. Do something. I have shit to do. I'm not going to do something. I have shit to lose. I have shit to I have way more than you.
Rob
I
is
have way
peace.
more than you. Delusional. Dude, get the fuck You're fucking delusional as fuck, bro. You're delusional as fuck, bro. Do something, bro.
I hate this Brandon guy. God, I hope he offs himself. Holy shit, what an annoying piece of shit. God, he's such a fucking loser. Do you not hate Ice as well? Ice is like, I consider Ice to be kind of a guy that's just like really immature. He probably got like way in over his head and shit, but I don't think Ice is like I don't think he's like a bad person. But Hampton Brandon, I think, is like a legitimate like piece of shit. Like bad person.
I have no idea who this is, by the way.
Yeah, just random dumb streaming shit.
IRL streamer?
Yep. Oh shit, that Baked Alaska interview got posted, didn't it?
Oh, the YouTube video?
Yeah.
I think so.
Did you watch any of that?
A little bit. I mean, I started watching the beginning, and then I saw the point where you realized this guy's not very smart, and then you just started memeing out of control.
Oh shit, Kyle.
Remember at that point, it's like, I'm done.
Some good ass.
And I checked in a couple of times. I'm like, yep, this is pretty much the same.
Some
You've had a couple. You've had a couple of those people, like, right? Like,
yeah, I don't understand how these people exist. I don't know. Makes me think sometimes, Kyle.
Yeah, I hear you. Steven, who controls the media? Who controls Hollywood?
I guess the Jews, Kyle.
That's right, Steven. It's the Jews. You haven't even hooked up all
what?
this iron yet.
Nope. I'm working, Kyle. Chill.
I just don't know how much space I need to clear. Just it's gonna spit out a bunch of pop. It's gonna spit a bunch of pollution.
I think we're okay on iron and steel right now, right? Isn't it copper that we're dying on?
Are we? I'm not at the base, and I've been there for a while. If we're not, oh yeah, we need more copper, and we're gonna need way more copper too. Because usually blue chips is the point where
the red chips and the green chip shit start to get crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, because you need 20 green chips for each blue chip. It's a lot of copper. Oh, there's more assholes on our pollution to the south. Get close to Diamond and League of Legends again.
I think I'm near my promos to Plat 1. I think I'm in Plat 2 right now, so yeah, I'm pretty close. And then Mr. Moon, I think, is in Plat 3 now, so yeah, we're getting there.
Doing it.
Alright, Kyle. It's been fun.
Wait. Let me go kill that one thing that's on our pollution.
Yeah,
Then,
sure thing.
and then we can call it. Because I don't want to, forget about that shit. I have to run all the way down here and doing it once.
Yeah, the mountain goat. I know. That's a good meme.
Oh my god, I came way too quick. Dying. Fuck.
God damn it.
Well, Steven, it's been fun.
Wait, where'd you die at? Do you know?
All the way to the southwest.
Oh yeah, I see it.
I really don't want to run back there right now.
Do you want us to load the last autosave and then save there, or?
How long ago was the last autosave?
Should be a few minutes or something?
Well, I mean, we can just load the last autosave. Play next.
Okay. I'll remember that. Autosave. I'm just gonna save right now just in case, and then I'll remember.
Okay. If I have to run back down there, it's not that big.
Do you remember? Oh, you died at the end of that line? I'll mark it just in case.
Okay, yeah. That sounds like a responsible and intelligent thing to do.
Alright, Kyle, it's been fun. Be careful. Reparino, cappuccino, pappuccino, hoppuccino, my dude Reno.
Nice one. See you later.
See you later. Alright, dudes. Play a little bit of PUBG, and then I'm gonna go to sleep.
It's fucked up. Shit's fucking fucked up. Sounds like someone's slapping their feet around right next to your head. Sounds like they're running on grass. Is it ever not sound like grass? I don't even know. Shit. But it sounds like bare feet on grass or dirt grass, whatever, and like running around you. What the fuck? That's actual phantoms. It's actual ghosts. In case you're wondering. What's up, Sama? Oh, you're so cute. You're so pretty. I know you hate me, but you're very pretty. Very pretty. Game coding.
I looted all the houses on the road. I know I probably left some stuff, but
Good job, Stabby McGee.
Oh my god, not Stabby McGee. How was your bio lecture?
It was great fun, my dude.
What'd you learn? Tell me one interesting thing you learned.
That everything is complicated? I don't know.
So you didn't learn much.
We learned all the different ways that relatives can recognize one another. Sometimes they're cognitive processes, sometimes they happen via imprinting, sometimes it's genetic. Wow.
That's really interesting.
Yeah, like when babies are born, sometimes the moms smell the babies and that's how they remember them. Other times they go by facial recognition. Sometimes they do probability. Wow, there's a whole bunch of memes. We learned experiments with goldfishes and baboons about how they recognize relatives and even humans. Wow.
So wait. What if, like, when you're saying relatives, is this like direct family, or how far are we talking about?
As far as the meme can go, it has to do with mathematical probability, with how likely they are to be related to you, because the goal of you to spread your genetic material is material that is the most related to you. So you have a high investment in relatives that are 100% related to you, and then not as much of an investment as relatives that are 50% related to you, et cetera, et cetera. And but there's also a little bit of genetic kinship, and that you want to see your fellow DNA survive. So I think like the meme was that you could like mathematically mate with like your third cousin or whatever, and it would be like acceptable on some, like that, like they did an experiment with what smelled the best, and like apparently third cousins were like the best smelling things or something. To your olfactory meme. Yeah, wow.
So, wait, third cousin's like the perfect storm between familiarity and unfamiliarity in terms of sexual attraction, maybe?
In terms of genetic longevity.
Hello, third cousins.
Yeah, wow.
Nice. Very hot. Very hot. Is he a lecturer or something? He wants to be, but, you know.
Who, me?
Yeah, you.
I don't lecture. I educate.
What does a lecturer do?
Don't worry about it.
What were you just... just a very confused person. A Twitter troll put me in a bad mood last night. What happened, Bobo? How's the rest of Doki Doki? It was really good, man. How much did you see? Waffle Jaw, how much did you see?
I only have time for a couple games. I have to get pancakes today. I've been on a huge pancake binge. Holy shit.
What kind of pancakes?
Obviously chocolate chip pancakes.
Obviously. How are you making them? Do you buy a mix like a pleb?
Well, what I do is I go to IHOP and I have the working class make them for me.
Wait, do you really go to IHOP?
Yeah.
You don't cook, do you? Like, at all?
I mean, theoretically I can. It was my job. I was a supervisor in a kitchen for 3 months.
I didn't ask you, are you capable of it? I said, do you? Like,
no,
you
fuck
don't
that
cook.
shit. I don't have time for that bullshit. No way, man. Gotta clean dishes. I cooked, like, yesterday. We had eggs and shit like that, but you have to clean pans and, oh, God.
Do you, like, eat off of paper plates ever?
I don't think so, because I just bought, like, I bought the sickest fucking washing machine. It's stainless steel. It destroys germs, and so...
Wait, like, dishwasher?
Yeah.
Nice.
Wait, what did I... Oh, yeah, I said washing machine. Sorry, yeah, dishwasher, yeah.
That's okay. I figured what you meant. Why is it so sick?
I don't know, because it costs a lot of money, so it better be sick.
I fucking love that shit.
What,
I love shit like that.
What, good dishwashers?
Yeah, you know.
Oh. Yeah, it's got like the 52 rotating spindle heads for optimal germ coverage and the boiling sanitized water. I don't know, some shit. But anyway, yeah. So yeah, I can use real plates. As long as I can throw them into a dishwasher, I don't give a fuck.
Theoretically, I can cook means you can't cook for shit. That's like when, if you guys recall Hollywood, he says he cooks, and I asked him what he cooks. He's like, pasta. and then he also cooks what is.
Hey, some people can't boil noodles, my dude. So there's an art.
So yeah, he said he can make steak, which is like pre-made. I mean, like, I highly doubt his steak was like phenomenally cooked. It was probably just like edible. Like, I
Tell
can
her
make
about
it.
the
All right,
Nepal
man.
versus Belgium shoots and ladders memes.
Oh shit, Jed.
Yeah, I'm on a spirit quest right now.
What happened, Jed?
I'm very
Why
far
are
from
you
you
so
guys.
far?
Do you have a car?
Not immediately on me.
That helmet's on me here, buddy.
Where's?
There's your angle.
Oh, I got one now. Thanks, man.
Okay. I'm making it 2x.
Rejected. Idiots. Thank you, Fist. Once, twice.
We got the blue moving again. We might as well go.
Does anyone need extended for SMG? Extended quick draw?
Yeah, I do actually.
I'll give you mine then, because I have an extra. Another level 2 helmet up here? Damn! Alright. Here's Stabby.
Thank you.
Sure. And go. Can I sit in the middle?
Nope.
There's no middle here? Fucking why?
I think they took them out of the game actually.
Oh, Bobo. He said lies about me and my fundraising on GoFundMe my sis set up to help with my mom's medical expenses. I'm so sorry, Bobo. Really liked your Doki Doki playthrough. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. I had fun doing it. I was very surprised by that game.
Did you beat it?
Yeah, I fucking annihilated it.
Wow.
Yeah.
So powerful.
Mm-hmm. And then I transferred the game to a CD-ROM, a CD, and then I took the CD out and cracked it over my knee, and then threw it in the trash.
Why would you do that?
Because I fucking destroyed that game.
Holy shit, that's so savage,
Yeah.
dude.
I got a buggy here.
It's savage. It's fuck, man.
We call them DVDs nowadays, not CD-ROMs, by the way. Fucking god.
It's not a DVD. You don't get a game on a DVD. You get a game on a CD-ROM thingy.
No, you wait. You know you do get it on a DVD.
I think you're just saying things now.
I know. I don't know how to convince you that I'm not trolling. CD-ROMs are generally limited by storage. I believe that the standard CD-ROM, CD-RW,
So, but I'm not incorrect, though.
Well, no, you are, because they can only hold up to 700 megabytes. I think was the standard for data.
Okay, then I'll transfer to 10 of
to a
those, and then I'll crack all of them over my knee.
when you buy a game, it comes on a DVD. That's why it has that
I'll transfer them to CDs. 10 CDs.
Oh my god.
I label them 1 out of 10 up until 10 out of 10.
Okay.
Now crack them in succession. Oh, no, I'll crack them down so it's like a fucking countdown.
I have another 8X I can't use if anyone needs it.
Oh my god.
X circle's close.
Does anybody have a lot of extra 7s? I just need like 30 if you have any extras.
I don't have any.
Okay. That circle's close. It is close. You're right. I have no idea where anybody else is right now. I hate this shit.
Garbage memes tonight, buddy. Skype or
36
Discord.
left.
Oh my god. This is such a weird game.
What? I don't understand what that means at all.
We did land on a weird spot.
That is true. We did land on a really weird spot, so it makes sense.
If anyone has like a bunch of extra med kits, I could use one, or first aids rather.
I don't have any.
I have
I can
2.
give you some bandages. I only have
Definitely
one.
take those.
First aid though.
I have 2 first aids and 7 bandages. 3 bandages, excuse me, 3.
Oh, you're like a
So-
team medic.
In this situation, I guess I am, which is really sad.
So interesting thing I learned is that you run the same speed with a pistol out as you do with no gun.
Are you sure about that?
Yep, they did some testing.
They did? Who's
I saw
they?
a video.
They,
Mhm.
them.
Probably Wacky Jackie.
Yeah.
The fuck?
Same with the melee
Wacky
weapon.
Jackie.
Oh, that's good to know. I always put it away if I'm trying to chase someone down.
There's 5s here if anybody needs them. Or
Wait, 5s? I don't need 5s.
One thing that triggers me is how this group says 5s and 7s for 556 and 762. That triggers the fuck out of me. I don't know why.
Need them.
need 7s?
I need 7s.
Right here.
Thanks. Oh, wow. Nice. Thanks, bro. Neville, stop digging. It's not nature. We're inside.
Do they just run around your apartment, or are they normally in their cage?
No, they don't have a cage.
They don't
run
have
around my
any
place.
cage?
No,
Holy
I'm very progressive.
shit.
I don't
Tons of
believe in
7s on me.
cages.
Do you
Wait,
declaw
you
them?
believe in cages? That's insane.
Where do you keep your girlfriends at when you don't take them out?
Ah, look at this guy.
Hit him up with the fucking
Yeah.
slavery memes. There you go, boy.
Ladies of property.
There you go. Good
Yep,
memes.
get 'em.
Hit him
Got
with
'em.
the big slugger memes tonight, boy.
There's like 207s on me here.
I don't need more. I'm good. Thanks though.
Oh, okay.
I have an SKS and I have 130. I'm okay. Stop! Oh my gosh. Do you hear that shit?
They're burrowing. You said you were progressive. Let them do what they want to do.
Yeah.
They dream of
And then
burrowing.
I'm like, stop it. Why are you doing that? Like a douchebag. I'm a douchebag. Why are we still like making... Are we trying to get a like hill advantage or something? What's happening here? What's our strat?
I'm just checking the buildings because I desperately need meds still.
Oh yeah, good point. We do need meds. I can spare a first aid kit if someone really...
For the blue Jed.
Jed, where's the Jed? Stupid Jed.
Oh, don't insult your teammates like that.
Why?
Because it's mean.
Is it?
Yeah, it's rude.
Is it mean if nobody takes it as a mean thing
It
though?
makes me uncomfortable. And I bet you've got fans that
Oh.
probably have the name Jed in your audience that feel like you're personally insulting them when you do it.
Well, then that means they're stupid.
Well, you just insulted them again. Way to go.
Is my do I need to cater my personality for the stupid? Because I don't really feel like that I should have to do that. Stop yawning. Shows weakness.
Fuck, yeah,
And
fuck me.
now I'm not yawning, which shows I'm a sociopath. So thanks for outing me.
Oh shit, you don't have those mirror reflexes?
I normally do, I guess, but I thought I did, but apparently not.
I think
I
that's
have no urge. I'm trying to actually get myself to yawn right now.
the mirror response or whatever. I think is something that you unlearn when you go through the process of obtaining a master's in public health and epidemiology.
I swear to God, that's an act. Okay, at $5, we're doing $5. No, I'll leave it at 1.
Yeah, that's...
Because, you know. You can't put it.
I mistyped it.
No,
Okay?
you're at 12. No, you missed one yesterday. I'm telling you, you're at 12 now.
Okay.
No, we
I'm
need
so
2x.
fucking sleepy right now.
Nope.
No, I'm okay. Why aren't you just going to bed at a more reasonable time? You wouldn't be so tired.
Yeah, shut the fuck up. I should be. Okay, listen, I'll host you, okay? You guys stay safe, be careful.
Ah, you're gonna play with me? Fine.
Well, listen, I have to eat pancakes and I gotta sleep. I'm fucking tired. We'll play earlier tomorrow, okay? Or today.
That sounds good.
Okay, be careful, dude.
Okay, bye.
Bye. Okay, I love you guys. It's been fun. Stay safe. We're Burrito Cappuccino.
Nathan Pepe.
Pappuccino. Alright, I'll see you guys later. Peace out.